as you crested the hill and you saw Yargile. Sorry, I just realized I haven't recorded. So I stopped myself. Now I lost my flow. But yes, you saw the buildings were very square, tall, angular, unlike the smooth buildings that you were used to seeing in Nuremberg with the thatched roofs. These are slightly more industrial, but still very homely looking, still very Norenholm in construction. No defensive walls, but slightly more structured because they're not spread out around a lake. Obviously, Norberg is nestled in the Lake Eru and the Evergreen Forest, so they've spread out quite thin so that as many houses as possible can have a lakeside view. Whereas here in Yargile, they're in the middle of the plains, and so they basically have quite a round structure to their village. You can see some of the similar buildings. There's a large communal building in the middle, which you assume is where they have the fires. Freya, you've actually been here before once when you were younger on a visit. And as I mentioned last time, 3 riders approach. You can hear the horses clippity-clopping in the background. That's you on your horses, making your way. The riders right towards you. You can see they're covered in the thick fur coats of the Norenholm folk tend to wear, scarves around their faces. You don't recognize them at first. They ride up, and then the one on the left, you can see that there's 3 of these riders, 2 of them male, 1 female. One of the riders, the middle male, has flaring red hair that just kind of sprays out from this helm that he's wearing, like a round dome helm, and big fur coat, because it's still very, very, very cold, even though you're kind of riding. Hair. Yes, like your hair, but flaming red. And then the man on the left has like pitch black hair with piercing green eyes. And you can see these blue eyes and this female voice calling out from underneath her scarf. You can see he pulls her scarf down. Gaten! Alith! Freya, it's great to see you again! She rides up. You're not sure who it is at first. And as she pulls up alongside of you, she's already talking to the other eyes. And these are the guys that saved me from the ice troll. When, do you remember when you know who died? I try not to talk about it. The other 2 bring their face masks down. Oh, yes, the ice troll. Thought you were kind of joking a bit about that. Hail, well met.
Hello.
Hi.
Howdy.
You have a friend with you. The lady rides up a horse next to you, Paige.
Oh, this is Paige. Yes.
And says, "Hi, I'm Heidi."
Hi, Heidi.
Hi, how are you?
Good, good. How are you?
Recovered. It was about a month ago now that you saved me from the ice troll. Oh, you were on your fire and ice trial, weren't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, Paige, you weren't there.
Oh shit. Okay.
That's why she's introducing
Having a
herself
memory
to you,
lap.
Paige. No, yeah, Paige, you are like, should I know this woman?
Yeah.
You shouldn't know this woman because you were not on the fire and ice trial. You came along later.
Cool.
Yeah, it's been crazy back here, but thank God that's all over. Whew. Yeah, I won't be going back to the tower for a while, I'll tell you that. You look at her awkwardly in silence. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Good idea.
Where are you heading now?
No, I came out to see you. I mean, we could see you from miles away. We live on the plains. Yeah, you can see riders. It helps us to be quite defensible. We have, obviously, watch-outs around the town, but we very rarely have any trouble here. It's not like Norberg and Eorengas, where you're quite near the border with the wastes. So thankfully, we still haven't seen the snow. She looks to the north, and you can see just on the horizon of the north, it's kind of like a white mist where the waste is now starting. And she turns back to you. 2 months ago, that was clear. We could see almost all the way to Eorengas. But whatever's causing this waste to travel south is starting to get us very cold. I was hoping to get out my winter coat, but here I am wearing my winters during the spring.
Let's save it for a little longer. We've
So
come with news.
let me introduce my colleagues. She points to her right, where the other 2 The redhead crazy man is Tom. Tom kind of like, afternoon. And the guy at the end, that's Wendell. You can see that Wendell is a lot older than these two. Tom and Heidi seem quite young. Maybe mid-20s. But still sort of fairly young looking. But Wendell, now that you're closer and you've stopped the horses, he's a towering man. Not Bjorn size, but strong and big. I mean, it's hard to tell under his very bulky coat, but you can see that he's built. His shoulders are very broad. And the other two have got little hunting swords and bows. And he's got some sort of great sword strapped across his back. And you can see he's got like a small hand crossbow strapped to his thigh, which he can pull quite quickly if he wants to. He looks pretty formidable. The other two, well, you know that Heidi is quite an accomplished fighter because she was fighting off the ice troll when you were... Well, she wasn't fighting. She was getting killed, but she was doing her best to survive the ice troll when you guys survived. Yeah. You notice that Heidi rides up alongside Alith. I can't wait to take you back to see my family, Alith. I've been telling everyone about what you did. No one believes me.
Yes, what I did.
Everyone's like, what do you mean he just created fire from his hands and bonfires appeared under the ice troll? And I'm like, honestly, that's what happened. And they're like, woman, you're going crazy. The snow's getting to you. But now you're here, you can tell them. Okay, make a perception roll. Everyone who's human, warm-blooded. I didn't mean just race human. Sorry, I meant just anyone that's alive. So
we got some good rolls.
Oh, Gaten's got a 1. Nat 1.
Okay.
Gaten is distracted by some cloud.
Freya. Everyone else seems oblivious to it, but it's pretty clear to you, Freya, that Heidi's coming on to Alith pretty strong.
Well, I didn't blame you.
Well, you have to remember that the fire magic was pretty transformational in the battle against the ice troll, and she would have never have seen magic in her life. So and back then you were the only one who was throwing magic around, whereas now Freya's like your little Padawan Eldritch Blaster. But back then she was just singing song and yelling prose. But yeah, so she kind of sidles up alongside you. How long are you here for? I'd love to introduce you to my family. She starts. Should we take you to the town, Freya?
Yes.
I'm sure Nathan's gonna love to see you. It's gonna be fantastic. He talks about you all the time. You know that.
Hey.
They start riding. Are you gonna follow them? They start kind of riding towards the town. Quite friendly.
We kind of have to because we need to tell them the bad news.
Yeah.
You're gonna greet me to your family. Hi guys, you're all gonna die.
So we'll get all the freemen together for a village meeting, which is great because we're already going to have a village meeting today because Old Owl's in town, and that's always a massive point for celebration when Old Owl comes into town. As you walk into the town, you can see that there's a quite large carriage in the town. It looks ridiculously tall, actually, twice the height that you'd normally see from a carriage of goods. And there's kind of like little bells hanging from it, and there's holders with candles in them, and there's like flowers that seem to be blooming, even though it's too cold for them to be blooming. It's beautiful, and there's garlands around it. It's very festive, this wagon. Freya and Alith and Gaten, make history checks.
Yes, body.
As you walk into the town.
Another one.
In a row.
Wow.
Okay. So
At least you got 'em out.
So Paige,
Getting out of the way.
Paige, you've never been here before. You spent most of your time in Urengas and Theonlas, and your family are all based on the east. So your parents are actually in Malmo. So I don't know if you want to make a note of that, Paige. But if you look at the map and you see far to the right, there's a town called Malmo. Not far from the little woods south of the Malmo Tower. That's where
Shore Town.
Malmo. That's where Well, it's not. There's a lot of humans there because it's still a Norrenholm village, but there's a large contingent of halflings there. No one knows why, but Malmo seems to have quite a high contingent of non-humans, unlike any other village. And it's another thing you should know about Malmo, by the way, is that a lot of people there talk about their heritage as being linked to Quan Hador. Just something. Quan Hador.
The ruins.
It's the elder city to the north that no one ever visits because anyone who ever visits it and never returns, no one ever has come back.
Wow.
Go there.
We should certainly go have a look.
You really shouldn't. Not. That's not a place you want to be heading to.
We're sacking off the mission.
Yeah. I heard it's a really cool place. Alice like treasure, it's magic, treasure, magic. As his face melts.
I'd love to. I know that Freya has to. Her whole family thing is like, oh.
Yeah. So anyway, history checks. Oh my god. Okay. None of you got it. None of you got it. Not even Aleph. But yeah, you can see there's children all swarming around this this carriage, and then this as you're walking towards the big campfire and the village sort of communal village building that everyone sits under to talk and commune, and there's already a big fire there. You can see this old man, a really old, massive white beard. He's coming out. Come here, kids. You want some candles? Do you want some toys? And he's got a little bag, and he keeps scooping into his bag, and he's got little like presents that are wrapped, and he's handing them out.
I'm going to give all of my money to someone else quickly.
Have you worked out who it is?
Obviously. And he goes off the values that you have. So I have
smart. You do not know that. That's meta. And none of the other players are going to know about that. That's not fair.
Harry, quick Arcana check.
Can I make a history check?
Another one.
One thing you do notice, Aleph.
Investigation check.
At the moment, Jimmy is flying around as a raven.
Can Jimmy do a history check?
No.
Jimmy
looks over at this old man on this carriage, and he instantly goes and disappears. You see this old man, his eyes glancing up at the raven as it disappears. Nods. Anyway, Brian, want some toys, kids?
Motherfucker.
He's not going to have a bloody demon near him. Anyway, you walk in and there's this big bonfire, as always in all of the Norrenholm towns. It's a tradition that there's always a fire burning in the centre, so that whatever the weather, people can huddle around the freeman's hut and have warmth and shelter. And there's usually always some sort of food there. As you walk through the town, you see that in many ways this is very much like Norberg. The kids are dressed the same. The adults look very much the same as your village. I mean, this is another very strong Norrenholm town. To you, Paige, it looks very much like many of the other Norrenholm towns you've been to. As I say, you've been to Jorengash, you've been to Theon Lass, you've been to Navorg, and you come from Malmo. And they're all pretty much like this. They've all got the big centre hearth where the freemen meet. They've all got, there's no defensive walls because that's just not how they believe. And then they never fight wars with each other, so they might get pissed off with each other occasionally, and they might have games where they compete, but these are not a people to easily rile against each other. There's a lovely tradition of alliance in Norrenholm, which has always been quite beautiful. And it's probably been one of the reasons why Norrenholm has remained untouched for generations compared to the rest of the world, which is full of politics and greedy people grabbing for money and power, and the borders of cities and nations just constantly changing. Up in Norrenholm, everyone just like, morning. Go get the morning paper, sit down, have a cup of tea, go out into the waste, kill a wolf, do some farming, come home, shag the wife, go to bed. You know, it's a happy existence, and it has been for
Good
so
luck.
long. Aleph, you've always kind of rolled against it a bit because you've got a bit of a lust for, well, power and wealth. All the stuff that most of Neuronholm doesn't care about. Anyway, these are the things going through your mind as you ride through the town. You can hear there's a lot of people talking. The birds are sort of tweeting out. You can see the fire raging away. It's beautifully warm. You can hear over in the corner there's someone playing a hurdy-gurdy, and there's a few people just dancing around to it. It's a lovely scene and almost chilling to think about what this could end up being like once the orcs attack. And it brings you back once again to the difficult challenge that you have before you, and the moment of remembering the beauty of the Neuronholm sort of culture passes as your horses stop at the stables near to the Freeholm house, where the freemen sit, well, and the free ladies. They're called freemen, but it's non-gender specific. And you can see a young man with a big black beard. He looks incredibly handsome. His eyes glittering. He walks out. He's got a battle axe in his hand and a shield, which is very strange because everyone's looking peaceful. And you don't know whether he's been doing some training or whether he's just grabbed them to look impressive. But he strides out. He strides along. His shoulders are broad. He swings his arms as he walks. He looks incredibly capable. He looks impressive anyway, and he comes out. Freya, it's great to see you. Great, come down here and give your neighbour a hug. He kind of walks over, hands the axe and the shield to one of his footmen. Yeah, I'll take that. You know, no idea why he had the axe and the shield in his hand because there's no one fighting. But
just in case.
Well, he's known to be a bit, you know. Oh, look at me. Do you come down? He kind of walks up to your horse and then stands there awkwardly waiting. He puts his hands on his hips. Hi. I'm the lord of this town. The name's Nathan Fall. It's good to meet you.
We've met
Hi,
before.
I'm Sorcerer of Norberg.
The sorcerer that vanquished the ice troll.
Yes, that's me.
He
Mighty.
walks up to you while he waits for Freya. He senses that you're not moving quick enough, and he doesn't want to lose the momentum of his impressive countenance and step. So he just goes on walking up to Aleph. He kind of goes to grab your hand in a warrior handshake. Good to see you. And
Alice, I don't like the fact that you are telling people that you defeated the ice troll. It was a group effort.
He didn't say that. This is Heidi. Heidi's been saying this.
I do have his moment.
Heidi went back all scarred, and they're like, what happened? And she was like, well, there was magic and fire, and this sorcerer vanquished the ice troll. Was there anyone else? There was a couple of warriors that were also helping, but there was fire and magic. So, of course, that turns into, it was a titan of an ice troll, and the sorcerer cast his mighty spells, and then the bards got hold of it, and then it's just, it's been going a bit crazy. Anyway, I got to see it. And you are... I don't know who you are. He looks at you, Gaten. I did roll, by the way. Oh, I need to roll for you, Paige.
This is our handyman, Gaten.
No. Because you're both folk heroes, basically. So there's a chance that he's heard of both of you. And I rolled a 1 and a 4. He hasn't heard of either of you. But then again, he's so obsessed with himself. He's probably good reason. He walks up to you, Paige. My lady. Goes to kiss your hand. Hi. Are you trying to get off the... Hi. And
those are some big biceps.
Yes, I work out a lot. He sizes you up, Gaten. He's about the same height as you. He's a bit broader and more muscular, but his movements, you can tell his movements are more stiff. You're not sure if he's ever actually seen combat or he just works out in the gym a lot. But he's certainly got gym muscles.
I'm going to get off my horse.
So he's basically just Arnold Schwarzenegger. Or like...
Well, no, he's not.
Any skin damage anywhere we can see?
No, none.
Okay, just crystal, beautiful.
Yeah, you guys have got scars all over the place. Your arm has been patched up. You've got burn marks. You've got all sorts going on. He looks
I got
pristine.
Burn
when
his face.
Yeah,
Just
you
ruin-
notice his skin's quite soft on his hands as well. Normally you
Gosh.
get calluses when you're wielding a big axe like that, or you have to
Can I mention that when I shake his hand?
if you want. He likes you at the moment, but
While
That's
he's
so
distracted, I'm gonna get off my horse because I don't want him
I
trying.
moisturise. It's important to look after the body. It's like a shrine.
I can tell.
Oh, do you get-
You look
okay, he
so
comes-
fine.
He stops
I'm
talking to
ready.
you mid-sentence and he just runs around. Ah, Freya. He gets on one knee and kisses your hand. Absolute honour to have the Princess Freya in our humble town.
I'm gonna sneakily wipe it on my leather armor like this.
He does spot that and he ignores it because he doesn't like it. Right, so this is fantastic. Call for a celebration. He calls over to the bard who's playing some hurdy-gurdy. Come over here with the hurdy-gurdy. Let's have a celebration. Let's get some ale out. This is fantastic. Old Owl's in town. Freya's come with the hero Alith and some friends. This is great. This is great. You can hear the hurdy-gurdy started walking towards you. And there's quite some cheering. You can hear as he speaks, he's more like he's not speaking as if he's speaking to you. He's speaking as if everyone can hear him at all times. He's like orating to a crowd, even when he's having a personal conversation, which starts off quite interesting and then almost immediately gets a little bit irritating. You're not sure if he has a volume control. So he's like,
What was the person that's in town's name?
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm intrigued on who just dispelled my imp.
yeah,
What
you're a
was
bit
his
confused about that. Old Owl! Old Owl! None of you have heard of him. Old Owl, he's the friendly old man who comes once a year bringing gifts and trading rare goods.
Yes, I'd like to meet him. Sorry, excuse me.
He comes for one day. That's fine. Let's
Is he Santa?
give the people their day.
Sounds like it.
Some people call him Santa, yes. That's one of his names.
Albie.
Yeah, but most people call him Old Owl. But
Old Owl.
you can go and meet him, I'm sure. But we need to talk. We get the fire going. Stoke the fire up. We're having a full town meeting to speak with our friends. Marvelous.
We want a full
Yes,
town
I'll be
meeting
there
for this,
shortly. I just have things to attend to.
or do we wish a bit more of a private audience first?
He's already gone off, by the way. Nathan's just walked off. You're not sure if he ever actually spoke to any of you or whether he just shouted in your direction. And now he's just striding off. Someone's given him his axe and his shield again, so he's just now walking off around the town with his shield and axe. Sorcerer's here! Freya! Princess Freya, my bride! She's here! We're going to celebrate! Get everyone together! Storms off.
Whoa.
Aren't I meant to marry someone else?
Well, he basically put some bribe money forward for you, and your dad was like, "Do you wanna?" And you were like, "Fuck off." So he said no, but Nathan, as you know, has basically always been like, "Well, no one's gonna always say no to me." So he keeps going on, thinking at some point you're gonna bow down. But then you also have Steiner.
No, Scad, wasn't it?
Sorry,
Steiner's my brother.
no, stop, Steiner.
Scad.
Hold on.
Scad.
Scad Fireburn. Scad Fireburn also thinks he's betrothed to you. He's the
I
healer
didn't
son of
know.
Catil. Yeah, sorry, it is Scad. Steiner's your brother. There's a lot of names. I don't remember them all sometimes. I do apologise. Scad, I'm glad you did. Yeah, Scad also thinks he's going to be. And you get pissed off with all of it because they all talk as if they own you. Because that is a little bit of the Norenholm way.
They have no idea about my sexuality.
The men get together, they make decisions over who's going to marry who. It's all like, hurrah! And you're just sticking the fingers up and going, that's not happening.
Fuck
But
you up,
you're
fuck
quite
you.
lucky because your dad actually is kind of like woke enough to actually discuss with you your view. Whereas a lot of fathers...
I feel like in Brave when Merida goes, I'll be playing for my own hand.
Yes, that's basically it. Your hair's a
who
little
I
bit
am.
tamer and a little bit more
Yeah.
controlled. Okay, so I'm just going to go around. That was a lot of noise being thrown at you, but Nathan is a bit like that, unfortunately. He's a noise thrower. Alith, you're going over to speak to Old Al.
Yes.
He's still got like a big horde of kids around him. Paige. the noise has subsided. It's a little bit intimidating because these humans are giants to you, and this Nathan was incredibly noisy. But he did kiss your hand.
Paige is still on the horse though. Just.
No, Paige got off, I think.
Okay.
She
I'm
looked
just
up.
imagining her going around so she's at the height of everyone else.
I mean, Paige probably thinks that Nathan's a bit of a riot. Nathan is very handsome, and at first he seems quite charming.
I know. I noticed that. Yes, and then I've checked him out, and I saw no scars. All right, there's something wrong with this guy. Nope. What I'm gonna do is there must be some sort of an explorers guild around here.
No.
It's too small.
Too
okay,
small.
all right.
No, none of them have like full-on guilds. But this town is too far south. That's why I was saying you normally hang out around Eorin Gas and Theon Lass. They're a lot nearer the waste. But Yargile's too far south. I mean, you have been to Navorg, but you've not been to Yargile before, so this is nice. But you are young. I mean, you've only been an explorer less than a year. You've not had a chance to travel everywhere yet. So it's nice that you're here. You can introduce yourself as a representative of the explorers. He might have seen the badge, but he didn't seem to take notice. But you noticed his eyes were either glued on Freya or Aleph while he was talking to everybody. He barely paid any notice to Gaten. It was quite embarrassing, really. Given Gaten looks incredibly impressive.
Gaten is not bothered. He tries to not draw attention when he can.
Yeah, I think Gaten is basically what Nathan thinks he is in his head. When Nathan thinks about himself, he imagines the Gaten. He's like, that's exactly who I am. He's probably back in his room now going, hey, just like looking in the mirror. They're looking at that Gaten. Strong, tall, warrior. Probably many battles like myself. He might have killed some rabbits. That's about as far as it goes.
Look, so we need to sway Nathan to be able to.
It's Nathan's
tell him the
dad
message.
still around.
Sorry?
Nathan's dad still around.
No, he sadly died quite young of the consumption, and which is why he came to power too early. There was a bit of there was a bit of an uproar because some of the elders wanted to put one of the more mature family members, but there was no uncles or anything in the line of the family, and basically Nathan's dad was so well respected and so powerful that everyone basically just went, look, we just got to give Nathan a chance. He's always stood under the shadow of his father, which is why he's a noisy, pompous git. But if he suddenly has to become the leader, then hopefully we'll see the traits of his father come out in the sun. So, and that was about 2 years ago. I mean, the town hasn't suffered because the elders still kind of run the day-to-day. Nathan's more of a figurehead, walking around, working out, walking around with an axe, walking around, working out, charming all the ladies.
So are we able to get a meeting with Nathan and the elders? Because they're probably going to be more help than he is.
Yeah, so you notice that Aleph has wandered off towards Al, and you notice that quite subtly Heidi is kind of following him. Not saying anything. She stopped talking as soon as she saw Nathan. She just shut up. Because she had a bit of a look for Nathan as well, you noticed. But because she's maybe 25 and she's not married yet, that's pretty dangerous ground for a 25-year-old woman.
Well, she did lose her partner only a few months ago.
Yeah, but she needs to find another one now. That's the way it happens in Nuremholm. You know, she's got to find another man quick. So that's. I mean, I'm telling you that, Freya, because you spend a lot of time with the other ladies, and you know that that's just a cultural norm in Nuremholm that you kind of get together and form a family as quick as you can. And it's one of the things that makes Nuremholm quite a nice place, is that there is a strong family bond in amongst the villages. A lot of the villages intermarry so that people have bonds into other villages. There's often times when there's sort of yearly festivals, or every few years they have big festivals where a lot of the singles get together from all of the villages and have get-togethers and shindigs and dances, and many a bond are made on those days. But there's not one of those for at least another year, so a bit irrelevant to what's happening right now. You go over to Al, Paige, Gaten, Freya. You're standing, and you notice that Wendell walks towards you. He's the sort of older warrior-looking man. He has got scars everywhere. His hands are calloused, and his skin is firm where he's wielded his greatsword many times. He takes you to one side. You can see he looks over. He's waiting for Nathan to disappear. So, I sense there's something that you wish to tell us. Do you need to speak to the council?
We do
Yes.
indeed.
And it's
Mm.
not good tidings, I'm guessing.
I wish that
No.
it was.
Okay. I didn't want to say anything, Gaten, but I have heard of you. Quite a few of the folk talk about what you did when you saved all the villagers. And I've heard since then that you also helped to defeat the Ice Troll and the demons who slew Heidi's husband, first husband. He's
Well,
obviously... Sorry?
I'm not there. I can't
You're not
remember.
there. But, alright, okay.
No,
I'll...
no.
I killed the demons.
You all did. You all did.
No, actually,
Ruka,
that's untrue. I actually one-shot both of them.
you did. Because they were susceptible to fire. Because they were made of ice. They're little ice people. I will talk to the elders and I will get a senior council together for you, Freya.
Thank you.
It's great to have you here. And please bear with Nathan. It's been difficult for him since his dad passed. I mean, his father was godlike in this town. And no one really paid him much attention. And then suddenly he's the leader. And he does mean well. He trains hard. He's got good fighter skills. But he's just never had a chance to use them. And, you know, he manages the town quite well, in a way. He understands about morale and, you know, he keeps the people together, but he's irritating. And I know it. But please don't judge him too harshly,
Spar
okay?
with him. Give him some sense of combat.
Yeah, he'd love that. He would love that, actually. In private, in case you beat him. But he has got a training ground in his house. Basically, he's got his house now. I do apologise. I have to keep reminding myself. It's got a private training courtyard away from everybody else. That's where he tends to train with the fighting equipment. And he is skilled. And I hope he never gets the chance to use it, but also at the same time, I do hope he gets the chance to use it. Because
Do I overhear this conversation as well?
No. You're basically surrounded by kids. Have you got anything for me, Al? Al, have you got anything for me? He's like, of course I do. And he you know, he's calling out each of the kids by name as if he knows their name. And you come closer. Oh, and it's young Alith. I think I know what you want, but I don't have that here.
How do you know?
I've heard of you, the great warrior that slew the ice troll.
Warrior?
Oh, dear. Yeah.
I would not regard myself as a warrior, but
Sorry, sorcerer.
Yeah,
It's a good story. If you wish to trade, could you just let me finish with the children first, and then we can talk about candles.
no, I see.
Candles.
I don't know what this means, and I don't know why candles are important. But okay.
I'm just imagining the kids going, "You're a sorcerer? Show us the fire! Show us the fire!"
Yeah, actually, some of the kids do start saying that. Do you do sorcery? We don't have any sorcerers here. There's the old
do.
priest. He can heal some people much, but that's about it. And he doesn't show off at all. Do you show off? Do you show magic?
I show off. I love to show off.
Okay, there's now about 20 odd kids just standing around you. Some of them have moved away. You can see old Al's like, oh, okay. No one, any more
Whatever you
toys,
do.
kids?
Don't roll a one and set a child on fire.
What are you going to do, mister? What are you going to do? What's your name? What are you going to do? Are you famous, mister?
I am famous. I am known as Alithana, the sorcerer that slayed the ice troll.
Ah, you saved Heidi. Yeah. Bard's been
Yeah.
talking about you. Oh, do you slay demons too?
I do. I do. I know loads
Wow.
of demons. Actually, they're quite interesting characters.
That's fantastic. So what have we got? What can you show us?
Well, without killing anyone.
That's just a bit of a prerequisite.
I cast Mage Hand behind the kid that asked that question, and I get their hand to like tap on his shoulder, and then like wave him in the face.
Oh, what's that? It's a magic hand. Magic hand. He tries to touch the magic hand. As you're doing this, you can see that Wendell is now walking towards the village centre with Paige and Gaten and Freya. They see you away, waving.
Hello.
Just
Do you say
dip my
anything to
head.
Alith? He's got his attention for 2 seconds while he's showing off. You can see he's conjured a spectral hand and he's basically wavy.
Just to Aleph, play nice, and then walk in.
Will do. I cast fire.
No, you don't.
3 buildings catch fire. Screams as the whole of Yargile burns to the ground.
Something tells me someone would counterspell me.
You don't know that.
No, I don't.
Okay, the kids disperse. You show them a bit of magic. Wendell takes you to the centre. He goes off and there's some drinks offered. There's some wine and mead and some water and some juices of fruit. And there's also some pastries and bread and cheese laid out on some tables. Do you
I'm
partake?
grabbing a wine.
Am I there?
No, you're not there yet. You're with kids.
Yeah. I'm gonna grab a bread roll and start munching on it.
Okay, it's beautifully fresh. The outer bread is crusty, and it's got a sort of slight aroma to it, where it's like they've seeded it with something to give it like a spicier taste. It's beautiful. You haven't tasted it before. Yeah, and the crust is super crusty and flaky. Oh god, it's making me hungry even saying that.
I know. Crusty on the outside, softy on the inside. Love it.
Yeah, and the cheese is like really solid, thick cheddar as well. It's fuck my diet. How was your roleplay tonight? Well, I described many foods.
I should hide what I'm eating.
And there's pastries with sweetmeats as well. Anyway, Freya, it's very similar food to what you have at Nürnberg, except their bread is baked differently, and they have these seeds and spices in them that give them a kind of like more of a kick. But it's beautiful food. Alith, you feel a touch on your shoulder. It's a spectral hand. You see old Al just like giggling to himself. Spectral hand. Come and see me in just before the sun sets. If you wish to purchase any of my goods, bring some money or something
I
to
don't have any
exchange.
money. I'm very poor.
Are you
Yes.
really?
I'm a traveller. Where would I get money from?
Who knows? He looks off into the distance. I remember when heroes were heroes. And he basically just walks off in another direction.
I make a perception check to see if I hear that.
Yeah, if you want. You standing around now. A couple of elders come in. There's men with big white beards and straggly hair. Some of them are bald. They come over to you, Freya. It's good to see you again, my lady. How is your father?
He is okay. We're doing our very best at the moment.
Yes, I'm sure you are. Bet you'd be glad when everything's back to normal, after the situation with the ice troll. I heard that you passed the fallen ice triad. That's wonderful.
Why, thank you.
Welcome. It's good to see you. There's a few other pleasantries exchanged. One of the old men comes up to you, Paige. Ah, an explorer! This is great. He puts his hand up and he does the secret sign of the explorers. Ah, good to see you. Does it? You're like, oh, it's an explorer. In my youth, I used to be an explorer. Tell me, is Job still there? Is he still one of the young'uns? You know, Job. He's like old Job. He's
Yeah.
He is
Job.
He was a good young lad.
Yeah, he's not that young anymore.
Oh, is he not? It must have been 30 years ago. But yeah.
I was gonna say, when's the last time you saw him? 30 years. Well, he's now the leader of the pack. He's taught me everything I know, to be honest.
He's good man. I tell you, the explorers, they're vital. People don't understand it. They don't realize how vital we are. We keepers of the peace. Making sure that those silly orcs and that lot don't come down and start bothering us. And making sure that the wanderers in the waste don't get lost. I tell you, vital service. My 20 years in the explorers were best years of my life. But it's been great to retire here and become an elder in Yargile. But sometimes he looks into your eyes, Paige. There's a twinkle. Sometimes I just miss the wine, you know?
I know that feeling.
But I go there and it's just like ice in my blood. My body's just not up to it. My heart can't take it. Time. Just on wings that grow stronger, you know. To be young. He starts getting melancholy and he grabs for a wine and just starts drinking it. And he doesn't stop. The little wine starts dribbling down his mouth.
My kind of guy.
At this rate, we're gonna be. This town's gonna be covered under snow. So.
No, that's never happened. You're young. I've been around 60 years, maybe. I don't really remember how old I am, but I think it's about 60 seasons I've lived, or 60 years, but hard to know. But the snow never comes. I mean, it's come beyond the towers. I'll give you that, but as far as Yargile, that's not going to happen, young'un. That's not going to happen.
How far down have you seen orcs up there?
Well, I mean, they've never.
The last time you were there, for instance?
I saw one as south as Lone Peak once. That was. I ended up having to hide up on Lone Peak with some of my friends. I took them out there. We were climbing the mothers, and we were just going to go down into the valleys before heading our way back. And I saw them in the distance. It was maybe 12 of them. Terrified me. I mean, we're not fighters. We're explorers. So we scrambled up old Lone Peak. It was strange. The orcs wouldn't go near it. It was a godsend, to be honest with you. I mean, we can't say that now, can't we? We can't say godsend. We have to say gods send. Yes. Tell me, which side did you pick? I haven't quite decided. I mean, I was so used to worshipping one god. When all these new gods appeared, I didn't quite know where to go. So I just kind of didn't bother. Gods. I feel like I'm older than the gods that now rule the world. It's crazy times. Gods coming down from heaven, the old gods, the void. It's just nonsense.
Well, look, you're still young, and we're gonna need every able body we can.
What?
I'll give a mysterious look towards the corner.
He kind of looks at you and, okay, young'un. He goes off, grabs another wine, and just starts. Blah, 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 blah. Aleph, you join them. There's wine and mead lined up, big barrels. People are just downing it. They're having a great time. You notice that where you are here is kind of like a side room from the main Freeman huts. And you notice that Nathan's gathered loads of people together around the fire. And as you're talking, you realise that actually it's got quite late. I mean, you spent the whole of the third day travelling here, but there was still some good sun when you arrived. But it feels like quite quickly. Sorry?
It's nearly sunset.
Yeah, well, it is. You travelled the whole day today.
Well,
But when you're
I was talking to old Alb. He's telling me to come back at sunset, and if it's already sunset, I need to.
No. It's not sunset yet. What I'm saying is the shadows are starting to grow long, and it's. What's that?
Just walking, right, guys. Oh, see you later.
Yeah, you see Aleph coming over. Anyway, you have to have a drink. Yeah, that's sunset. Yeah, Nathan comes in. Hi guys, hi. It's fantastic. Gonna get everyone together. Freya, you're looking just amazing. Okay, I've gathered everyone together, Wendell. I think we're gonna have a good chat. Old Owl's got a story to tell us. Come on, we always go and hear one of his stories. Wendell turns to you. It's usually manners to listen to Old Owl's story. He comes every year, once a year. He comes here for a day, gives out gifts to the children. He trades with the elders and the alchemist here. He gets a lot of his potions for the year from Old Owl, and he usually gives us a few candles which we burn around the town. He says that they have magical properties, but just ramblings of an old man. But he is kind and he's generous, and he must be wealthy because that carriage is always full of just the most incredulous things. And he always tells us a good story every time. They always move us. So we should gather around the fire. So you notice it starts to get a bit quieter now. Everyone goes around. You're going to go around the fire?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm assuming because we're not able to get our meeting before then, so we might as well.
Yeah. We're kind of in a rush, aren't we? We want to just give the news, get in, and then get out.
Well, we're going to likely need to stay overnight here anyway. Before
it sounds like it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you have to stay the night here. There's nowhere else to go.
Give them their evening. Don't take it away from them. We can discuss with who needs to know afterwards.
You see that old Owl is sort of sitting on a bench. You notice in this town centre, they've basically got rings of trunks. Some of them have got cushions on, some of them don't. They've all been worn down quite smooth, so they're actually quite comfortable and warming to sit on. The fire's warmed them, and certainly the first few rows of these big, thick logs have been warmed by the fire for so long that they have residual heat in them. So as you sit, you get a sort of beautiful sense of warmth from beneath you. You know that Norberg, they do something similar with stones. They don't have access to the stones in the same way here as you do at Norberg, because Norberg's got a little mine nearby where they can get some such things. But the trunks are marvelous. They must be imported from the Evergreen Woods where you are, because there's some thick trees. Gaten, you're appreciating the different breeds of trees that they've used to make these seats and the indents in them. And you all sit. You're given pride of place on the front row. You're sitting. Nathan come and sits next to you, Freya. Insists that Gaten, you sit the other side of him, and Aleph, you sit next to Freya. And then Paige, he points over and come on, join me. Honoured guests. We never have any guests here in Yagal, and now we've got Old Owl coming to tell us stories, which is just so amazing. And now we've got guests from Norberg. And it's been quite a time.
Nathan, I have a glass of wine in each hand.
You do. He's just like, okay. Yeah, you have a glass of wine in it. You notice at one point he tries to shift a bit closer to you, and you got your elbows up with his drinks, and so he kind of moves back and just kind of, yeah, of course. Al, tell us the story. So Albert sits and he looks at everyone in the room, and as he looks around, it almost feels like, oh, I just said Albert. Old Owl looks at all of you.
I have said Albert like 4 times already.
Okay.
Albert Santana Klaus.
His name's Old Owl. That's what the villagers know him. Well, tonight I'm going to tell you the story of Baron and Tulia. and the love of mortal. And I hope you all pay attention. His eyes look towards you four before carrying on with the story.
I'm gonna have to take notes.
A long time ago, before the time of humans in the land of elves, there was once a beautiful princess called Tulia. She was fair with blonde hair and blue eyes like a lake. And she was the fairest in the land, they said, caring and kind. Everybody loved her. She was coveted by so many princes. They would come to the land and they would ask for her hand, and she would say no. For she was waiting for true love, and she knew how important it was. But one day, a vile and evil prince called Ulrich came and asked for her hand in marriage, and she said, "Nay, for you are evil in spirit, and I am kind and caring." But the evil Ulrich, he would not take no for an answer. You notice that as he says that, Old Owl kind of glinces his eyes towards Nathan and then back. And he casts a foul eldritch spell upon Tulia's father. And the father, King Ironhelm, turns to his daughter and says, "You shall marry him in marriage, Tulia, for it I have spoken, and I am your father." Tulia, who has always loved her father, is devastated to hear that he has to marry this Lord Ulrich. Ulrich tries hard to win her over, but in the end, he insists the marriage goes ahead. And the day of the wedding, Tulia runs. She leaves their great city out into the fields. She runs for days and weeks, exhausted and alone. She finds herself at an old farm with a caring family and a young, brave farmer's boy called Beren. Tulia and Beren look at each other, and love sparks in their eyes, and they know in their hearts that their love is eternal. For a year, they lived together in harmony and happiness. The parents of Beren just so happy to see him in love with this young Tulia, but Tulia is careful never to reveal who she really is, for fear that the king and evil Lord Ulrich will find her. And so, after a year, she realizes that she cannot go on. She has to marry Beren. And she decides that once they're married, she will tell him her secret. And maybe she can return to the kingdom and the king can forgive her. And if not, then she will live out her years as a farmer's lady, because she cares not for what she does, and she cares not for wealth, but for love. And to raise a family in love, which is always so important. On the wedding day, all of Beren's family come from miles around, and they all say, "Where is Tulia's family?" But so polite and so kind that they don't question it. And so the day of the wedding comes, and they go to the altar, and they are married. And it's a beautiful ceremony, and as they are married, 2 white doves descend onto the altar. And as they exchange vows and their bands of marriage, the white doves, they sing a beautiful song. And you can see Old Owl starts whistling this beautiful little tune. And everyone says it's the most beautiful marriage they'd ever seen. But amongst the crowd, a distant relative, a trader who spent his many years travelling the lands, looks to Tulia as she kisses Beren, and the glint of realization and recognition. Princess Tulia. He recognizes her, and he knows that she would be worth a fortune to Prince Ulrich. And as much as he loves his family, he loved money and power more. As Old Owl says that, his eyes flicker to Aleth, and then back to the story. And so, over the cover of darkness, the trader, who has with him his carriage at all times, unstops a bottle of special poison that stops the heart briefly and brings on fake death. And he looks at her and he says, "I shall give you this, and you shall fall into a stupor, and they shall think you dead. And when they grieve, I shall take your body from here, and return you to Prince Ulrich, and I shall be rewarded with gold beyond imagination. And that will be more than enough for the loss of my family, for I will be rich. And he takes the potion and he puts it into a shiny golden apple. Such a beautiful apple that even looking at it makes you want to eat it. It's such a succulent apple. Al just looks at the apple for a moment. The DM looks at the apple for a moment.
I'll go grab an apple.
He goes and grabs an apple. And he goes, and in the morning, after they've consummated their wedding and they are preparing for breakfast, the old uncle, the traitor, hands the apple to the innocent and unsuspecting Tulia, and she takes it in her hand, and she thanks the old distant uncle for his beautiful, gracious gift, and he waits for her to eat it, but instead, because she is so kind and giving, she takes it in the kitchen, and while her new husband still sleeps, she bakes the most beautiful apple pie for her husband. And as he comes down for breakfast, she stands to his side and hands him the pie and says, "Husband, I have made you this beautiful pie so that we may remember our marriage. And I hope that you will always remember this time in our lives." And Beren, excited, ecstatic at being a husband at last, he takes the pie and he eats it whole. And then he stands and goes, "No!" and collapses dead on the floor. The women scream, the family scream. Tulia is devastated. What have I done? The old trader, he stands up, realizing that he needs to change plans fast. He points at her and says, "She killed him! She killed Beren for his money!" And lost in grief, lost in the pain of the death of their son, for a moment of madness, they believe him and they go to banish her. Tulia starts to run. She's scared. She doesn't understand. Why have I lost yet another family? And as she does, the old trader takes her to one side. "I can protect you. I can save you. You have killed your husband. I do not know why." And as Tulia begged, I did not. I cooked it using your gracious apple." "Well, that apple was a beautiful gift for you. I don't understand why you would do such a thing, but your family, this family, they will never forgive you. Come with me now and I will save your life, for they will surely kill you for what you have done." Tulia, desperate in absolute horror of what she's done, gets on the carriage and they ride out quickly into the sunset. And she decides with a sigh she has to return to her father, for where else can she go? For she has done great evil, and she now does not see herself as kind or caring, but foul and evil. And she returns to Ulrich and marries him, lost in her own grief. Beren, prepared for burial, awakens and looks around. The family, aghast, realize, what have they done? They accuse Tulia of murder, but here he is still alive. Desperate, Beren looks for his wife and cannot find her. And he has no idea where she comes from. And so he says goodbye to his family, and Beren leaves. And he says, "I shall not return until my wife is in my arms." And he travels. And for 50 years, Beren travelled the world, from Krishni to the south, to the ice nations of the north, to Arendelle, to Lorendelle, to the Eye of Terror. Every element of the earth was scoured for his wife. And after 50 years, old, tired, bone-weary, he goes to return to his family, not knowing if any of them would still be alive, or if they'd even recognize him. But just the first glimpses of doubt, after 50 years of looking for his wife, he sees on a nearby hill a white dove. And on a whim, he walks towards it. And as he does, it starts to sing the song of his marriage. Tears falling from his eye. He runs as best as he can in his 70-year-old frame that barely carries his weight anymore to the hill. And he sees upon the hill there is a vast tomb. And in the tomb, he can see the names Tulia and Ulrich. And he sees the date and realizes that Tulia died the year he married her. With a broken heart, she could no longer live. And Ulrich, his wife now, had died many years later in battle. And it is said that he had buried all of his wealth with him, within the tomb with his wife. He bangs on the doors. No, Tulia, you were my wife. I did not know. But there's no answer. And he sees that the white dove lands on it. So he tries to burst through the door. And as he does, his band of his wedding ring, which he still wears even now, starts to glow. He draws his sword. And as he does, the doors burst open. And the demon spirit of Ulrich stands before him. And says, "You shall not have my wife in life nor death." Beren, 70 years old, his art ancient. He collapses, but as he does, his ring touches the sword, and his spirit rises, tall, a warrior spirit. And with his sword now glowing from the light from his ring, he smites the demon, banishing him from the realms. He enters the tomb and he finds the spirit of Tulia, who's been trapped these last 50 years in an eternal circle of grief and guilt. She sees him, and together they hold hands and they embrace. And as they does, the light surrounds them, the light of paradise. And as they ascend, their light turns into two white doves that fly off together. Their love eternally joined once again as they were 50 years before. He sits back. Remember, kids, always love hard and forgive all of those who trespass against you. He nods down. Nathan stands up. Wow, another great story! Everyone's like, oh, the beauty. It's a great story. Well done. Well, we got Freya here now, and enough of that story. So tell us, Freya, why are you here? He goes and gets another ale and downs it. Oh, needed that after that story. Well, demon fighting and nonsense and all that. He looks at you. Wendell's like, maybe we should do this after the celebration in case the news isn't good, sire. He makes... Oh, fuck, you know. No! Tell us now! Tell us now! What do you... He looks to the four of you. What do you say?
Sweet. See to the celebrations first. Let everyone have their good times, their good stories. We can talk afterwards.
Okay. Well, that's disappointing. Will you tell us about the fight against the troll, Alith? Those are the kids like, yeah, he's a sorcerer. He made a hand.
Yes. Well, we have more pressing matters currently. You know, big, important adventurers business. That we must all talk in private.
Wendell stands up. Wendell stands up. I think what we should do is the sun's setting. Let's get the kids to bed. It's very late. I'm tired. I've been traveling, doing my patrol for quite a lot today. Sire, if it's okay with you, I'm going to take some of the village folk back to their houses. And then we can talk with the elders. They all nod. The elders, catching the cue from Wendell, stand up. Yes, it's all very late, very tired, very good. Great story, old owl. It's good to see you again. Always great when you come here and give gifts. Yes. The congregation starts to disperse. Everyone going back to their rooms. The fire is warming. You still sit there, kind of nursing your drinks. A serving lady comes over with a couple of jugs. One's got wine, one's got mead, and starts serving you guys, topping your cups up. She looks at you, Fred. Do you want both your cups filled up? Are you holding the second one for somebody?
Actually, what I will do is, if I hand you this glass, I'll take that jug.
Okay. It's
Thank
not
you.
very ladylike. She looks at the cup. And, okay. Anyone want the mead? pours the mead out, and goes back anyway. After a short while, you realise the sun's starting to set, Aleph, when Nathan and Wendell and the others sit round the fire. Old Al's gone as well. He's a guest, but he's not part of the council. As he turns to leave, he looks to you guys. I'll be here in the morning if you don't get time tonight.
No, I must make time. I'll be right back.
Okay. He
I feel like this story for me felt like almost like a prophecy of my future. I don't know how to go about asking if that is true.
No, there was elements in there.
Everyone, please, don't mind me. I'll be back in a few. You know, whilst the kids are being put to bed, I'm going to go do adult things.
Okay, so there's a little bit of time here as the sun's starting to set. You're socialising. None of you are in a particular rush to have this conversation, but you know it needs to be done tonight because in the morning you need to start heading off towards Trondheim. You can't delay for too long, so you need to have this conversation. The elders go back. A lot of them go off to have their ablutions and prepare themselves and get warmer clothes. As the sun starts to set, the temperature drops, and you can see the fire starts to struggle a little bit with the cold, and more logs get put on the fire, and it starts to roar back into life again. Old Al's sitting over. He's basically pulling on some straps, tying down some sort of packages on this vast and oversized carriage that he seems to walk around in. By the way, you noticed something you hadn't noticed before. The carriage is being pulled by some really strange animals. They look like horses, but they've got like almost human faces. It's very strange, but they don't seem to be speaking or anything. They don't have mouths. They still have the muzzles of like a horse, but their features look far too intelligent and wily for a horse. And their eyes have big whites in them with little pupils and irises, which is strange. What is it, Aleph? What can I do for you?
Well, you said you wanted to talk to me.
To trade.
I am indeed intrigued.
Are you needed at the council?
Well, everyone's putting the children to bed. We have a spare time.
Well, I have a little bit of time. Is there anything in particular after? I can see if I've got it on the carriage.
Anything magical?
Or you can always come back to my shop in Jornheim. I've got a wonderful shop there. An apothecary, just full of amazing trinkets and strange items. And lots of candles. He always does this thing with his nose when he says candles, which is a little bit alarming.
How about I consider it if I get a candle on the house?
Friend, that's just not how it works.
Well then, tell me how it works.
Well,
You're the one with the weird candle.
it's like when you're traveling in life, Alice. You need to decide what path you're going to travel on. And you need to commit to that path. You see what I'm saying?
Okay. No, and I don't really care.
You have many paths in front of you, and I wish in all my heart that you choose the right one.
I'm sure you do.
And once you choose the right path, I'll be more than happy to help you.
Right.
And offer you my goods.
Right.
Do
So
you
what you're
understand?
telling me is you won't sell me your goods.
Maybe I would exchange a candle or two, but I don't think I've got the right goods for you here on my carriage. You understand? Maybe
No,
by the
not
time
really.
you get to Jornheim, which I believe I heard you say you were coming, then maybe we could have another conversation.
No, I didn't say that, and I find it really weird that you know everything about me, but okay.
Oh, the villagers, they talk. They do.
Yeah, they definitely don't. Okay,
Are
I'll
these
take one.
candles any candles of invocation?
Oh, you come over as well.
I've overheard their chat.
You got a
Really?
jug in one hand, a glass in the other, and you're like, all right, you got any invocation candles? Oh, Fuck
I
off,
can
man.
handle my alcohol. I am over 6 foot and well stocked. Thank
You start
very
eyeing
much.
up Heidi, wondering whether you can convert her. Who's looking at Aleph? Then she looks at you and she's like, Freya, for you, I've got a carriage full of marvels.
You're not a very good tradesman, are you?
I'm terrible. I give most of my stuff away, to be honest with you, but it's the pleasure of it. It's just the feeling you get. It's a selfish pleasure. It really is the pleasure of giving. In a way, it's
Right.
taking. You understand? You understand? What
I
I'm
give
saying?
things all the time.
You do.
I do.
Yeah. Sure you do.
I do.
Fire to trolls.
No, well, I also give, souls to the afterlife all the time.
Yeah, that's not quite what you do, but I hear what you're saying. Freya, he goes around the back and he comes out with a candle that's golden, but it has little flowers on it. This is for you. Call it a gift.
you.
So she gets a gift and I get a story.
Yes. That's exactly
Great.
what's happening.
Okay, goodbye now.
What does this candle do? Al?
Bye. He looks to you and he says, watch out for Aleph.
Oh well.
You understand? He has some paths to travel. And he has a dark master. Who is
I'm sure I
using-
hear you. Wait, can I see if I hear him say that?
Yeah, go on then. He has a dark master who was leading him into a place he shouldn't go.
Am I ever going to roll above 10?
But he has a good heart.
Oh, I felt like this story kind of linked to myself quite a bit. I was just wondering whether you can tell prophecies or not. I know it sounds silly.
I've been known to have some funny dreams. What is it you wish to know? He
I was just
he goes and
wondering
sits on
if
the
there's any connection between myself and
carriage seat, and so he looks at you. Oh, sorry, Fran, bones are old. What is it you want to know? Is that a story
Is there
about
any
you?
connection between myself and Tulia?
Well, none that I said, but I mean, if you feel that there's some sort of empathy that you have for Tulia, then that's interesting for you. Understand? Maybe that's something you need to think about. There's nothing more I can say on that. Does anyone else want to go and speak to old Al? He seems to be holding court.
I've got a free candle, so if anyone
You
wants
have got a
to
free
chat-
candle.
I suppose if they're talking for long enough, then Gaten will wander over just with a smile, offer his
Can I find out
hand.
what the candle does first?
When you rest in the evening, light the candle, and you'll find that it will last a very long time, for it's made of thick wax and a strong wick. And when you
Just a
smell its
ever-burning candle.
beautiful fragrance, breathe deep, breathe deep.
I feel like I'm going to get drugged.
Oh no.
So then Gaten's going to walk over when he sees that they're taking a while, and he'll walk over with a smile. He'll offer his hand to shake his hand and thank him for the story. It was quite moving.
Gaten, he takes your hand. It's
Oh,
wonderful
was
to
it?
meet you. Wonderful to meet you.
Wow. I'm
I've
not
heard
sure
of
it's
your
not on the
exploits
phone.
when you saved the family. That good deed will pay you back many times over. Here, I've got
What's that?
something for you, actually. He starts rummaging for a sack. He just dives into the sack, and you can see his legs kind of fly up in the air a little bit, and then they come down, and he turns, and he's got it's like a pouch with a little spout on it and a stopper. He hands that to you, and then and he goes in. He comes out with a little whetstone. He hands it to you. Now, apply a little bit of that oil when you're sharpening your axe, and your axe will strike true. It'll keep that blade beautiful and clean.
This is a very kind gift. I don't have much in return to offer for it.
You saved the lives of many through kind heart and good deed. There's a good future for you, Gaten, and I wish you well. Keep being that person that you were the day in the fields when the wolves came. He gives you a big smile and puts his hand on your shoulder. Now, return to the fire.
Thank you.
So while this is going on,
Yeah.
I'm behind Gaten and he completely hides me. So I'm going to cast Primeval Awareness to check to see if this guy is a Celestial or something.
You get nothing.
Nothing, nada.
No.
All right, so it's my turn, literally, because if Gaten's walking away, I'm like,
It suddenly appears.
Basically, if you would expect to get something, but you get nothing. It's almost like he doesn't exist.
gotcha.
Ah, Paige, come up, come up. It's really far down there. He holds his hand out for you. Come on, dear.
Hello.
Come on, dear. Come on up.
Nice story.
Thank you. It's an interesting story. It's true story as well. Most stories are born of fact. It's not quite the way that it went, and unfortunately, the ending hasn't quite been written yet. You understand?
Maybe.
Okay. Well, all I can say is I do hope that the doves do fly off. That's my wish. But we'll wait and see.
I see.
Damn it, I didn't hear that.
Paige and Freya. That's the love story.
So tell me, how are you finding being an Arctic explorer? And no, I didn't use any mystic powers. I just got a big badge on your coat.
Oh, this one, yeah, I wear it with honor.
Good.
Oh,
How's old Job?
Everybody seems to know Job. What a popular
Oh,
man.
Old Al, he knows everybody. I get around a bit.
Right. So you're an explorer yourself then?
I've travelled the world in my carriage a bit.
Where
Here and
have
there.
you been? When you say the world, Norrenholm, right?
Yeah, Norrenholm and the Twin Cities and Elsmouth. He looks distant, his smile fading as he says that word. And then he goes, and
Are you falling asleep?
African. sorry. African and yeah, the southern cities and all across the water in Lorendal. Beautiful Prion. Oh, you should have seen Prion, Paige, before it fell. Such a beautiful city. Probably the beautifulest city in all the world.
Maybe you should show me the way one day. I mean, you've got some really interesting looking horses there. So I feel like they will take you far.
They do. They help me out a lot when I'm giving them my gifts to all of my children from the villages. It's beautiful. So, what's in your heart, Paige?
I like your horses.
They're great.
Takes one.
Do you want one of my
I know.
horses?
I did it. Are you offering you one of your horses? Amazing.
No, I'm not.
Why would you offer one? That's
Oh.
incredible. That is so thoughtful of you, old Al.
I
That
tell you,
is just-
I tell you,
So
Paige.
you are making my dreams come true there. Like that is just an incredible creature right there.
Unfortunately, if I give you those,
But
I
I'm
won't be
telling
able
you,
to
it's
pull my
beautiful.
cat.
It's beautiful. Old Al, please. You just said you were giving me. Now you're saying you're not. I mean,
He basically just starts laughing his head off. He's giggling like a little child. Oh, I really like you. I really like you. Oh,
like, did I say something funny?
I tell you what, I'm going to give you 2 gifts because you're making me laugh, and making me laugh is just, it's the greatest gift. There is no other gift. Any other gift is just a gift to make you laugh, and if it doesn't, it's not a gift. You make my heart swell with joy, Paige. You really do. So I'm going to give you 2 gifts. He rummages in his sack, and he comes out.
Oh, thanks, old man.
He comes out with a little box.
Is one of them one of your horses?
The second one's the other one.
One of them's a little box.
I'll give you shit.
And then there's the other one's a candle.
So first one is what?
There's a little box,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's the candle. There you go.
You didn't. Oh, thank you very much. I didn't ask for gifts actually. I was just having a conversation, but
But
I'll take these.
it's what I do.
What are these?
Well, open the box. Open the box. Open the box. Open the box.
My mom told me not to open boxes that strangers give me, but you look like a good man. I'm gonna open the box.
Thank you. You open the box, and inside you can see like a lion,
Ooh.
a little model of a lion.
But I wouldn't have seen a lion, right? Because I'm just from Malmo.
Yeah, no, you've never seen a lion before.
What is
Heard
this
of one.
creature?
Scary kitty.
That's a lion.
Looks like the snow leopards that we see up north.
Really similar, but more red and fierce and orangey, big teeth.
Right.
Beautiful,
Thanks
isn't it?
for this. I'll definitely put it on a shelf on my room.
Okay,
What should I do with it? Right. That's what I'm supposed. It's a statue, right? It's
sure.
Are we able to get an actual lion from the lion model?
Wait.
that may
Was
have a
Freya
habit
here?
of-
I thought it was just me and Al.
Yeah,
I
Paige
mean,
turns.
I'm drinking in the corner.
Paige
mate.
turns and sees
Whoa,
Freya just
whoa,
sitting there
whoa.
with a jug, and she's like, "My fucking turn."
Yeah, exactly. When you turn.
I've already had my turn. I'm just sat down.
Aleph
with
just
my wine.
mumbling in the corner. Stupid fucking old man. Fuck you. Fuck you.
Anyway,
What
seriously
good
though, Al, like, what does this statue do, and what does this candle do?
Well, the candle. So the candle's pink. Really, really,
pink.
really pink.
Pink
Yeah.
candle.
Pink candle.
Love the pink.
It's beautiful.
Nice.
My first instincts say it's like a love spell candle, but that's my instinct.
I'm still waiting for an answer, old man. I'm not saying this obviously. I'm just
Old
thinking
man.
about it.
Yeah.
Thinking
As
about
you think it, he says, "Old man, you don't know how old I am. I could be in my prime."
You look like you are in your prime, But what
Thank
is
you,
it?
darling.
What does this pink candle do?
Oh, that'd be telling. Find
So
out. Find out.
right.
Find out.
Okay. All right. All
Don't do
right.
it- don't do it
Explorer,
here.
eh?
Don't do it here.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much. Nice
When
to meet
He,
you. I'll
he,
go-
le-
go-
he leans into you.
Mhm.
When it's at your coldest. When you're at the most scared. And you think all is lost. Light the candle.
Okay. But what about the statue?
Statue. Well,
Should I light that up as well? It looks like burnable.
I think he would get a bit
I'm a-
upset.
Oh, it would get a bit upset. What? All right. Thank you very much. I'm just gonna walk outside the building.
Okay. He waves goodbye. He goes and packs up his stuff.
Lovely to meet you. I hope I'll bump you in my adventures in the future.
Okay.
I'll take the horse as well. Thank you.
You know?
And I walk away. I'm just gonna walk away.
He packs up his stuff. As you do, the main council have been called together. You walk in. By the way,
So wait. I'm not done. I
Oh.
want to go to the carriage
okay.
because he's still there. I want to
Yeah,
go
he's
to the
still
I'm
there.
not gonna steal his horses. I'm just checking out. Okay.
Yeah. He turns around. Oh, he's still here. Hi. What?
Okay.
What's up?
Nothing. He just catches him. Okay. Cool. Nothing. Nice horses.
Thanks, Paige.
Just admiring your horses.
Yeah. You've got something
Yeah.
better. Just have to let her out occasionally.
Ooh. Thank you.
Welcome.
I was about to be casting that detect magic at that point, but I'm like, nah, screw it.
Okay. It wouldn't have done much. Apart from go, ah! You all gather around the fire again. You all sit in the same places you sat before. Aleph, You put your hand in your pocket, and your hand touches something cold.
That is
Do you
all
like take a little
information
bit
you
in my
get.
pocket or something and just leave it? No.
Yeah, it feels strange, like a cold disc.
Yeah, I'm not gonna try and feel it. I'm just gonna take it out and look at it.
Okay, it's a 20-sided dice.
Oh fuck.
Oh.
You don't know where that came from, and it's black.
I just look
Well-
at it, so I just roll it.
It's really strange, actually, because it's black. But then you look at it again, and it's white. And then you close one eye, and it's white. Then you close the other eye, and it's black.
Oh.
Well,
White.
with this
Roll
newfound
between
discovery,
identical.
I'm gonna close both my eyes and then roll it.
Onto the floor.
Yeah, see what happens.
Okay. Make a roll.
Oh.
Roll a d20.
Don't know if that's good or bad.
Is that natural 20? Ooh,
No.
No, 19.
almost.
Yeah. Is Harry's whole personality going to change? And suddenly he's like neutral good.
True polymorph, he's now a rabbit. But he retains his ability to cast Eldritch Blast.
Who's the rabbit from what's the film?
The Holy Grail.
That's the one.
Need the
I'm
holy hand grenade of anti-knock to kill him.
Yeah.
just gonna pop to the toilet while you're looking at what 19.
Plus, I don't know if his eyes being shut is going to affect anything.
We just make it so that it turns Aleph purple forever, or something really random, or pink,
Into a
like
tiny
vibrant
Oompa
pink.
Loompa. Tiny Oompa Loompa.
-6 to charisma because he now looks like Donald Trump.
Yeah.
We'll put a tag on it. Bane. Not that one.
Find
And
it.
turn purple forever.
No, nothing. He rolls the dice.
And we're waiting for Aleph to return.
Aleph returned.
I'm just imagining Aleph going poof into thin air.
What mysteries happen then?
Okay,
Just gonna-
so you basically now for the rest of today, which consists of 3 hours, can critical on the 19 or a 20. That's it.
Wow.
What's that mean?
Well, normally you
Um,
critical on the 20.
So glad.
Well, at least you didn't roll like a 1 or a 2.
I think it would have been more interesting if I rolled a 1 or a 2.
Instant kill.
Can I just keep rolling it like 20 times?
No, you roll it again, and it just lands cocked. And every time you try and roll it after that, it just always stays cocked.
Oh,
Throw the dice in the bin. It's clearly broken.
throws it into the fire.
Okay. You throw it away.
No, I realise that it's something weird. Not that
You
dumb.
can only use it once a day.
Yeah, I get
The
it.
best time to roll it is in the morning if you're going to use it. Just don't roll below 11.
Now I want to roll below
What good
11
is-
to see what happens.
What good is it for Aleph anyway?
It's a
Right.
yin yang thing. It's supposed to show about the balance between good and evil, good and bad.
Yeah, see, that's what I was thinking when Aleph was when he was talking. I was like, someone's got to be evil out there. Otherwise, good is just gonna fuck everyone over.
Nathan stands up. Okay, guys. So why are you here, and why are we doing this without the rest of the village around?
Right. Well, I guess I'll open, seeing as you all know me. Hello, I'm Alif. I
Hello.
saved.
They're trying to
Same
work out
people.
who you are. Oh, the ice troll guy.
Yes. I slayed
Okay.
the mighty ice troll. 30 feet tall.
They-
30 feet
I mean,
tall.
really, shouldn't your leader speak on behalf of
Who's
you?
my leader?
Freya.
The princess.
I have no leader.
That's fair.
If you wish for her to speak, I guess I will let you.
Well, you gotta listen here, guys. Could bad shit gonna happen.
How many jugs have you had?
Um,
2.
Oh, there's fireworks going off outside my house.
I literally hear that too.
You can hear the
Weird.
fireworks
That
outside
be
yours.
my new
Yeah, from
rescue.
what's going on?
This is where Ojo goes, yeah, I can hear it too in London.
Yeah, but I'm still like, a good 2-3 miles away from you.
Everyone looks at Freya. Aleph, maybe maybe you should tell us what's going on. So there's some bad
right.
shit
So you
happening.
know who I am. Right.
I'm gonna
You notice that
slam my
Freya starts
hands on
sitting
the
over.
table.
Sorry?
I said I'm gonna slam my hands on the table.
This is good.
But I'm probably like this, right?
There isn't a table. They're all sitting around a bonfire, but I'm assuming you slap the
There's no
bed.
table. There must be a table.
No, there's
somewhere.
no table. So basically, there's some
Oh.
big timber beams that they're using for seats around this huge fire.
Oh, that's
Um,
not going to make the impact that I want to make here. Okay, 1 sec. I need to rethink this for a second.
Okay, we'll
Get on
pause
the
for a
table and
second.
jump on it.
Are you gonna do like a hobbit and just basically stand on and start dancing?
No. I was gonna be like all
There is
serious,
doing that.
serious, and like listen to me
Okay, you can try
kind
that.
of mode. I want to, but I wanted
glass.
that dramatic
Get a
impression.
glass,
Like,
go ting 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 ting.
oh, you go like that.
You could get Freya to
you-
make a minor illusion or something.
Right. Well, while
Oh.
you guys are deciding what they're doing, I'm going to continue talking.
Okay.
I cast minor illusion of a big booming sound on the table.
Okay, Aleph stands up. Okay, I shall. And as you do that, a table appears in the middle of the fire and goes. 2 hands go boom, boom, and then Paige stands up. Aleph kind of stops for a second, going,
I got you, sister.
"What are you going to say,
Festivities,
Paige?"
Now,
festivities are great, but we've got more urgent matters to attend to.
That
Focus,
shit's gonna
Like-
happen.
Like what? I mean, the ice troll's dead.
We've come from a long journey and we've seen a lot. We need to talk this privately. This is ridiculous.
Well, this
Can
is
we
the
go
Council
somewhere
of
with-
Elders. This is the Council
We
of
are
Elders.
in private.
You are in
Oh,
private.
right. Okay, I thought we were. Okay, cool. Okay, go. Well, there are some imminent dangers coming to our lands, and we need your help.
Imminent dangers.
What sort of image?
I'm like trying to push Freya away with my foot. Like,
You notice that Nathan's gone a bit quiet. Wendell looks to you. What sort of dangers? What are we talking about?
Imminent
Orcs.
dangers.
the orcs.
Orcs.
and lots
of orcs are gonna be coming down from the north.
How many orcs you ask? Well, good news.
All of
All of
them.
All the orcs.
The old man who used to be an explorer is like, never gonna happen. Never gonna happen. Paige,
Am
Yeah,
I
you-
this is
able
nonsense. Tell him.
to cast the spell of minor illusion again, but this time show the prophecy that we saw back in the ice cave.
I don't
Oh,
think
wow.
Minor Illusion's
That's pretty
capable
good.
of that.
Do it.
Can I do that?
It is a minor illusion. You see, you see like a tiny image in the frames of loads and loads of orcs. Like someone's got like a mobile phone and they're holding up a scene from Lord of the Rings. Da-da, da-da-da, and everyone's kind of squinting. What? What is? What's that supposed to be? Is that lots of little ants swarming across a mound? Freya's like, orcs!
Orcs, obviously. Can you not see?
Like,
We're
this
we're,
is nonsense.
we're actually coming. We're actually coming
Bard's
from all.
dictionary skills are terrible when drunk.
We're coming from the Ice Peak Mountains. We've gone on a long quest there, and even though the ice troll is dead, that might not be the only ice troll. And they're pushing the orcs down, and they're all gathering, and they're going to take over our lands if we don't act.
Ice trolls are pushing the
Pretty
orcs.
soon.
It's not ice trolls, by the way, but out of character thing.
What is
it? It's ice giants, frost giants.
Right, okay, because we've killed an ice troll. I'm taking notes as well. I'm trying. Obviously, that part is a little bit missing.
Frost
with me.
giants. Frost giants are the ice nation of the north, and they're pushing.
Right.
They're expanding because of the land bridge with Lorendal.
Okay. Freya corrects me like frost giants. Yes,
Frost
those.
giants.
Frost giants.
Giants. Giants of
Yeah.
frost.
Yes. So Freya's father actually sent us. She's trying to explain it, but she needs to have some glass of water. Can someone get her some water, please?
I love my father. He's just so good. He's just amazing.
Aleph, can you give Freya some water, please? Thank you.
I stand there and just shake my head at both of them.
I don't want no water. I don't
Looks
want
Aleph
more
standing there
wine.
looking like he's waiting to have his turn to tell the story. But Paige, you had the hand stampy table thing from Freya, so they're not. You can see all the old folk are just nodding. This is just nonsense. Not the orcs. They're not going to come down here. They're just the Goliaths. They would just stop them.
We were sent here by the Jarl of Norberg, as you know, Freya's father, because of our quest up north in Ice Peak Mountains after discovering that after
priest.
prophecy from the priest in the Ice Peak Mountains. I'm sure you've heard of the myths about dwarves up in the mountains, and we've actually found one.
Dwarves in the mountain.
Yes, he's showed us a prophecy where the orcs will come from the mothers down and scorch fire on our lands very soon.
So, how many orcs are we talking about?
All of them.
All of them. Well, that
Yeah,
must be that. Freya, get a drink.
Too many. Too many.
Aleph knows how many.
Aleph,
Aleph, tell the
sorcerer
story
that-
like you were trying
that
to
smoked
before.
the ice troll. What? How much should we trust this dwarf in the mountain? I mean, what? There was just a dwarf in the mountain.
Well, seeing as we're now telling you that, how we're all going to die, we may as well share the rest of it. Basically, long story short, Yagamama was a bit fucked. We went over to a mountain to get a magical crystal. We met a dwarf. He gave us a crystal. He showed us a vision of all of the orcs coming to kill us. We basically know that the two ice nations of the north have joined each other, and everything from the other side is pushing everything on our side down, which is in turn pushing everything up until the orcs down to us.
But don't worry, we gave Yagamama the crystal, so she should be okay anytime.
Yagamama is now fine, and we have been set to the task by the dwarf and Yagamama herself to warn and unite Norrenholm.
You notice the bard stand up. Wait. You went into the mountain. You saw the crystal priest. You healed Yagamama.
With a crystal, yes.
This is a great story. He starts taking
Oh,
notes.
I missed that part.
We're not here to tell stories like Al. We're here to sort business.
Yes, that's why you're sober and talking to us in a sensible way, Freya.
Of course.
Yeah,
I
will be-
haven't drunk in ages.
Okay. Please remember who your father is and don't embarrass him.
I'm trying my best.
Just to bring order, I'm going to shoot an Eldritch Blast on the ground.
What?
Okay, an eldritch blast flies up out of the side.
And then
of
I'm
the-
going to cast Fly on myself.
Oh, for
to get
goodness
everyone's
sake.
attention.
Okay. The flames start billowing around as you rise up. They're all like, "What the hell?
While they're
Jesus!"
distracted by Alith, I'm going to go outside, be sick, and come back sober.
Okay, you hear like, "Bleh, bleh."
This is not the time for you all to doubt my word. You shall listen, and you shall join us.
Walk back in,
Whoa, 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 whoa,
sober.
whoa, whoa.
This is a bit much, Alith.
You see,
It's just gonna like rub his temples and look like, oh,
okay,
not again.
when Wendell puts his hand up, please, we get it. You're serious. You have power. You have done great deeds. The bard will take notes and sing your songs, but please, no more theatrics. This is serious. I believe you. There are thousands of orcs descending on Norenholm. I'm assuming that Jarl's calling the alliance together,
Yes, that's exactly what.
and
we're
you
doing.
wish us to fight. So, okay.
Only those who can. However, if you do need safety, we're able to get any vulnerable people into the mountain and into safety.
Supposedly Freya has sobered up in the last 30 seconds.
And we were also, I'm from Malmo, we were hoping that you could get the word out to all the nearby towns, reaching all the way to Gothberg.
Because we have to head.
We
south.
have to head to Jornheim to warn the other
We can
towns.
send messengers. The old man who used to be an explorer. We could call upon the explorers to spread the word fast. The explorer
Please.
rangers can tread fast across this landscape.
Have you got a map and a pen or a pencil or some charcoal or whatever you use? Draw.
Yes, they bring out a map that's similar to the one that you've got.
Right. I get a mage hand. Hold it up for me, so I can basically like hold it in the air with the mage hand and then draw on it with myself.
Okay.
Oh, show off.
With yourself.
I mean, just, you know,
You know,
like pin it on a wall or something, mate. I'm joking.
everyone make perception rolls, by the way. Everyone that's around the fire, make perception rolls. Freya, you're disadvantaged because you're acting pissed. And by the way,
I'm
you're
sobered
using
up.
your old headset. That's
As
not the
much as I
headset.
think.
Charlotte, that's not the headset I gave you for your birthday.
Yes, I know. But seeing as I bled from my ear the other day, this ear hurts. So I put the old one on so the pain it doesn't go in and I only have sound in my good ear.
Okay, that makes sense. I'm not drinking Red Bull. This isn't Red Bull. I put some water in here.
Tut tut tut.
Do you know that that's what the energy companies do with like the Monster? You know when you get the athletes at like Formula One that are holding it, it's Monster Tour water, and it's just spring water in a Monster can.
I did not know that. Yes,
You can get water in a can though as well.
yes, you can.
I know,
This
they're
is all
disgusting
water. This
festivals.
is just water. Lots and lots of cans of water.
Are you calling yourself an athlete?
Of course. I'm a man of power and check out my
Man of power.
little guns.
Well, I got a 12.
Right. Okay.
I've got a 15 and Alice.
I would have got
19.
18 if I hadn't drunk so much wine and been sick outside of the tent.
Okay. Paige and Alith, you notice that Nathan's going completely green and looking a bit sick.
Nice.
Is this real? Is this real? Are we
Yes,
going to
boy.
war?
It is
Oh,
real.
boy.
You
Oh,
can
boy.
finally put all of their muscles to work.
Get some scratch on that lovely skin of yours.
And he stands up. Then we'll fight, and we will fight with our brothers and sisters of Norenholm. He runs over and grabs up his axe, and then puts his hands up. We'll fight. We will
Yes,
fight
yes,
for Norenholm.
Let the adults speak, please. I'm gonna continue going to my map.
Wendell runs over to you and grabs hold of you. Don't speak to our leader like that, or you'll be imprisoned immediately. He is the leader of this entire village.
I'm
You can't
flying.
speak to
How
him like
did he
that
grab me?
because you're not flying that high.
We're in a tent, so you can't go too high.
You see Al appears in the fire and just paths, Alith, paths. You speak like that again to our leader and you'll be banished from our town.
Okay, fine. Calm down. Everyone, please. Right.
This is a
Now.
serious situation. Sorry, my lord. Nathan's. We fight! We fight. We will gather our warriors together. I will lead them to the north. We will head first to Tower Yargon and then on to Tower Yorn. And we will start preparing the defences.
Perfect.
We
No
can
one even
ask for it
explains
now.
where they are. How does this guy know they're going to Tower
Well, I'm
Yorn?
assuming you got the map out. You showed him.
Oh, also Nathan, try to be Wendell. What's his name? The wise and old one.
Wendell is the warrior that's clearly been around a bit.
Yes,
and he's-
Wendell. Be frugal. Keep your money because we might need help of other people to be able to overcome this danger.
What do you need money for? Are you going for mercenaries?
Yes.
If we have to, yeah. I don't want. Sorry, one sec. I'm not letting the word out that we are getting mercenaries just yet.
Right.
But at the same time, I'm warning him to be a bit frugal going forward.
I understand, Paige.
Nice.
We will see what we can do to help you with that opportunity if it presents itself. The hearts of Norrenholm are strong, but we are not a nation with an army. We are a nation of hunters and farmers. But we will fight, and the Orcs will regret their decision to come down here.
Yes, they will.
Yes, they will. Nathan, this is a lot to take in. Can I suggest, my lord, that we retire and we speak more on this in the morning? Let us digest what this means so that we can start preparing, and then we can see these good people on their way on their mission. It's clear they've got a long journey ahead of them.
Should get some rest anyway. Also, if Nathan's nearby, perhaps if you've got some time to clear your mind, we could spar.
Yes!
Some of this
In the morning, we could have a practice session together. I would love that. Get the old arms limbered up, ready for battle. Once
How
again.
about I join? I've always wanted to spar.
Sure.
Alith, only if you use weapons, not magic.
That's not. No, weapon is my magic. No,
Part
you-
2.
is my weapon.
Well, we tend to use fists and maybe wooden swords. We don't want to cut each other. We only use our real weapons against, dummies.
That's
Otherwise, we'd.
That's not how it works in a battle, Nathan.
How would you know how
You
to
gotta
fight
be
if you only ever use wood?
exactly.
What
No,
will you
well-
do when you come across a sorcerer? Will you just hit it in the
You
face
see,
with a
you
piece
know,
of
it's
wood?
Wendell looking between you and Nathan. He's like, just okay, guys. Right, I think we're done here.
I feel like
Um,
Nathan's going to have to go through the battle preparation thing from Mulan. Where he goes, let's get down to business. And he learns how to become a warrior.
Yeah,
Well, that was kind of what I was trying to go for with.
you can see that
Yeah.
Wendell's getting a bit pissed off with the disrespect being shown towards Nathan because he is the leader, and he
Who's
might not
Wendell
be a
again?
battle hardened.
The beefy warrior dude.
Wendell,
What the ex-warrior guy?
well, he,
I think he's still got some warrior days in
he's
him.
still got some warrior days in him. He's only like 40 at
Oh, I thought he
most.
was like 17.
No, he's old, but 40 is old in this world for a human. But, I mean, he's got a good 10, 15 years of, kickassery in him
Right.
left. I think we need to adjourn, my lord, if that's okay. It's a lot to take in. Yes, Wendell, you're correct. He sits back down. You can see he's got his hand on his face. It's a lot to take in. It's a lot to take in. It's certainly a lot to take in. We will fight, won't we, Wendell? Yes, we're going to fight, my lord. It's the right thing to do. It is the right thing to do. Freya, we're going to fight. We're going to fight. Excuse me. Nathan stands up. All the elders stand up. And in the morning, we prepare for war. And he leaves. That was not kindly spoken, Wendell says to you guys. That was
Yes,
not
I have
kindly
always been
spoken.
told I have your problems. Don't worry.
Well, then you need to
Well,
stop
it-
speaking in council fires.
Please send our apologies for the
The
choice.
situation is dire.
Situation is dire, but respect should be shown at all times. Nathan will do the right thing. He's young. I explained this. I thought I'd explain this all to you quite clearly in private. But
I understood.
Alice wasn't there when the Hebus tried to talk to us. He fucked off to talk to Al.
That's true. I wasn't there.
right, well, get down here. Stop flying. It's embarrassing and a bit vulgar, to be honest with you.
Well, I have to get someone's attention with all the shit going around.
Yes, well, there's many intelligent people here, and we're not that naive that we haven't seen sorcerers before. And wizards of all kinds. They do
I
travel
think it's the
through here.
first time Alice has had someone really want to know about his magic so much that he wants to show it off.
Well, I appreciate that, but then you're just acting as childless as the accusations you put towards Nathan. I would say we stop. Nathan has yet had a chance to prove himself in battle, but he's already showing that he will lead, and I respect that. We need him. The townspeople respect him. He will join the battle. I can sense it. He will fight, and I will fight by his side. And when we first start the battle, I will stand with him and make sure that he stays alive, as long as I am able. And hope that we win. But we need to prepare.
Yeah.
I've got some books on siege strategies and tactical warfare. I shall start studying them and see how I can help. I did spend some time as a mercenary many years ago, before I came here to retire. If you're traveling to Jornheim for that particular purpose, there's a contact that I can give you that might be able to help give you a good price. How much are you? He leans in. He waits until a lot of the other elders have started dispersing, and he sort of sits back with you again. How much are you expecting to pay for a mercenary force? Freya, snap out of this, please. You're the daughter of the Jarl. I need to speak to you. How much have you
I
got?
didn't realise they were speaking to me. I thought he was talking to Paige because Paige had the talk about the mercenary in the first place.
Yeah, Freya, you realise he's talking to you. You didn't even notice, but you can see that this Wendell's mind is clearly on the problem, and he needs his information.
Well, my father was concerned that we might have to pay around 10,000,
10,000.
but that would be after the battle.
So about 500 men.
Looks like it.
Okay. I shall write up a letter for you for the morning, and I shall give you some details of who to speak
Thank
to.
you, Wendell.
There are a couple of different mercenary troops, companies, who have a let's say a base of operation in Jornheim. None of them are based in Jornheim, but several of the companies. I mean, especially since Hellsmouth fell, basically mercenary companies have become quite popular in being able to sort of start to enforce peace, because before then Hellsmouth basically ruled all of the south beyond Jornheim with an iron grip, a tyrannical grip. And once that was removed, there was a power vacuum, and cities started to try and force themselves on each other. And the mercenaries found good business, and I, for my sins, found good business. I was a young mercenary myself when Hellsmouth fell and the gods alighted in the sky and took down the immortal Emperor of Hellsmouth. But I was not there myself, though I'm sure if you're going to Jornheim, you'll probably come across somebody at least that was there the day the gods ascended. No one can forget that day. But I was further to the north, but I heard of young adventure and opportunity for great coin. And I did indeed make a lot of money, and turned out that I had no small skill in fighting, and was able to make some good money for, well, over 10 years as a mercenary. Mostly dealing with caravan protection at first, and then, small scale protection, defense. Only once did we end up assaulting a city, and I would never wish to do that again. It was horrendous. The death toll was... Anyway, he sits back. War is terrible. War is terrible. Do not look forward to it. I prepare for war with these orcs, but they can fight. They can really fight. It's in them, orcs.
We've battled them once before, but the idea of war itself kind of scares me, if I'm being honest.
Well, I mean, warrior against orc is a battle that you can understand, but I've heard stories of when the orcs go into the villages, they slaughter the women and the children, and they do worse. They do worse. I mean, sometimes they torture the young. Sometimes they eat the young in front of the mothers while the mothers still live, and then they burn the mothers alive. Sometimes they rape the mothers and then kill them. Honestly, even the humans do it in battle. War leads to evil, even amongst the good. It's a terrible thing, but we have no choice here. Our path is righteous. The war, if it comes to us, we must be prepared, and that's something I can help with. So I'm glad you brought it for me. I'm not happy with the way that you brought it to me, and you need to, if you're going to speak to some of the other villages, you need to prepare yourself better. For here, you had good company because Yargile is aligned very closely with Norberg. But when you get down to Trondheim, they will not be so quick to listen, and you need to be more prepared to show more respect. His eyes looking at Aleph towards the leaders.
I'm bacon.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm glad you brought us in. Well, I'm not glad, but I am glad it came from you, and I'm glad you're on our side. For it seems that you indeed have had many great adventures, and I suspect you're going to have many more great adventures. I shall get the letter written for you, and I shall bring it to you in the morning. Good night.
Will you
Thank
be
Kind of gives
free
a
to
slight
join
bow.
us in the sparring tomorrow morning?
I don't have time for sparring. I know how to fight. I do train him. Nathan will love to spar because he's very good. He's very good. He's just not been blooded. And I've met many a brave warrior that looks great in the sparring ring and is killed instantly in war. Unfortunately, there's a different skill between practicing fighting and actually surviving a fight. And I just hope that he is part of that latter group. Anyway, fare you well. Good night. He goes off. The crowd disperses. A servant, well, not a servant, but one of the helpers, one of the common folk, come and see you, and they usher you to a small area. We haven't got a building for you. There's no inn or anything here. That's just not how Norenholm works. But we have some space if you have any camping that you wish to do here near the fire. Oh. Okay, the morning comes, and some of the people within the villages are sitting around fires again. They're not all around the big central family, the big central town fire. You notice that there's lots of fires going off in all around the different houses. People have now gone back out the business. The farmers have already gone back out this morning to tend to the to the flock. Other farmers have gone out. The tradesmen are all working. So there is like a number of working carpenters and blacksmiths and tanners and bakers. Basically the whole village's gamut of trade skills. You meet up with some of the elders again, and you get one of the common folk who helps serve the nobles comes over to you early in the morning with a platter with some cooked meats, and turns to you, Gaten, and says, the Lord is expecting you in his training ground whenever you're ready.
Thank you. I'll go now. You lead me or point me in the direction.
Yeah, she can lead you off. As you do, you see the old man come up to you. That you met yesterday, Paige, who's the ex-explorer. I never really got to introduce myself last night, but the name's Horace. Horace, yep. Remember that. When you're traveling down to Trondheim, try to avoid the Iron Hills, okay? Because there's a lot of stories about treasure and stuff there, but I'm telling you, it's haunted ground. Iron Hills. The route goes right through it. There's a valley through the hills, but if you do go through it, but just stick to the path, okay? You do not want to diverge away. I've known a number of travelers who have gone in that way that have got waylaid, and they sometimes talk about whaling, and I don't know, it's nonsense to me. But you know what it's like. You know what it's like further north when you get to the ruins of Cal. What that place is like. Well, this is like that, but on a smaller scale. What it's saying, basically, the ruins of Cal, by the way, are like a haunted castle ruins that everyone stays away from.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, people do go in there and come back. Sometimes people go in there and come back and say there's nothing there at all. Others come back telling stories of, you know, armies of undead, and some people see sieges happening, and there's like thousands of these spirits on the walls. So it's haunted, but it's not like the Kwan Hador. No one goes. Explorers don't go near there. They they avoid it by many miles. Even the ground is mutated and putrid when you get towards that place. It's not like that. And so just when he's referencing the ruins of Cow, I just saying to you, Paige. And I know it's a lot to take in, but yeah, it's like the ruins of Cow, you know.
Thank you for the warning, old timer.
Yeah. And if someone starts telling you about treasure, just ignore it. All the young folks go there looking for treasure, and they never find. There's nothing there, just death, and the dead.
All right.
Leave the dead to rest. All right.
We've got a very important mission anyway. We don't have time to waste for treasure.
So he goes off, and the fresh meats in the morning, they're lovely, and they bring you some water to drink. One of the old deers comes up to you, Freya. I think you need to drink quite a lot of water, dear. You were putting it down quite a lot last night.
Dehydrated, darling.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
And she
kindness
hands you a
is
particular cup, and she said,
well respected.
I put some salts and sugars in this one. That'll help you.
Some diet light.
Basically, it's a little concoction that I always give to my kids when they've had a few too many the night before. This is quite a sort of sunken old lady. You can see that she's a bit.
What the fuck has she been giving her kids?
Most of her teeth are missing. Well, when my kids are older than you, you know.
I gathered that when you said she was an old lady, but the first bit, oh yeah, when my kids have had too much. What the fuck have you let your kids?
My 5-year-old's been hitting the whiskey the night before, you know. A good parent that I am always gives them a bit of water and sugar in the morning.
Keeps them warm.
She gives you a big grin, and most of her teeth are missing. She's like, and then she
what
leaves
the
you
old
with that.
pa did for me.
I'd take a sip, but don't like the taste, so I neck it.
You when you wake up in the morning, by the way, you notice that Old Owl's wagon's gone. You didn't hear it leave during the night, but it's gone.
Gary, by the way, when I get some quiet time, I want to go out to a field somewhere that no one can see and look into this little box that I've received.
Okay. You can do so. Gaten's at the training grounds. Freya, what are you going to do? So you need to head off pretty quickly, but you've got a couple of hours. You know, I mean, it's a long journey to Trondheim. It's going to take you, well, probably another 3 days. 2 days will get you to the Iron Hills and then Trondheim, but it's not 2 full days, and it depends on where you stop. So it's just under 3 days to Trondheim. The only real place on the way that's kind of like a waypoint that you'll be able to recognize will be the Iron Hills. So basically, you've been told that you aim for the Iron Hills, you follow them, but then you don't go into them. You just peel off to the left slightly to get to Trondheim. Yes, you go off to the fields. We'll talk to that in a second. Freya, what are you doing? Aleth, what are you doing? Gaten, you're being welcomed into the training grounds. You can see it's well provisioned. There's weapons all over the walls of every kind you've ever heard of. And you can see there's a number of dummies set up. Some of them have got like poles with swinging arms so that when you hit one, the other one swings around, and they've got like wooden swords on. That sort of thing. So, Freya.
I'm going to go see Wendell again. Try and get some more advice.
Okay.
I see.
Sorry.
I was just going to say that when he was telling me off, I found it quite attractive. So I'm going to go and see him and see what I can do there as well.
Who was telling you off?
Wendell.
Oh yeah, he is proper bossy.
Yeah, but I like that, so I'm going to go see him.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'll cover that first, and we'll go around. So he you ask around, and people guide you to his house. He's got quite a modest house. You can see he's got a beautiful garden around his house, and when he opens the door, you can see he's in like some sort of mourning outfit. His feet and lower legs exposed, and he's got like a light vest on. And you can see behind him inside the house, there's really rich tapestries on the walls. There's a lovely fire. You can see an array of weapons over the fire. You can see lots of like golden ornaments, glass ornaments. There's a really ornate mirror in the hallway. There's some money here. This guy's got some money. More than Norenholm people normally have. But then again, people from Norenholm don't normally earn money. They normally just subsist. Freya, you sobered up.
Yes, I have.
I will,
Thanks to your wondrous advice last night.
Well, I'm not going to mention it to Jarl. I was a bit hot-headed myself last night. Your friend Aleph was winding me up, if I'm being honest. Flying
He does
up in
that
the air
to
and
everybody.
talking to Nathan like our Lord, like he's not our Lord. I know Nathan's young, but you know I appreciate that we have to all toe the line
Oh,
on
I
this a bit.
understand.
I've written your letter.
My father like that.
Yep, I've written your letter. So you need to speak to Thomas, okay,
Thomas.
from the Scarlet Company.
I'm just gonna take a note of that.
Yeah, I last time I was down in Jornheim, he was stationed there as basically a rep, and they're not based too far away. They're around their main bases at the Twins, but if you're looking for about 500 men, they could probably get that together in a couple of weeks, and then start heading that north. So I reckon if you can get down there, I reckon within about 3 weeks of the initial contract being signed, they could be at the valley between the Ice Peaks and the Mothers, which is what you mentioned last night when we got the map out, would be the point of defense. So yeah, and I've put this together for you, and he's basically got like a bag in it, and he said some of this is 500 gold of this is from the town, and there's another 1,000 gold in here from me. It's not all in gold. There's some platinum pieces. There's some jewelry that it has set value. There's a couple of goblets that are made of pure gold. It's some of my own personal treasure. I have no use for it. I don't spend any money here. You know, this town looks after me, and I look after it. So it would be churlish of me not to contribute personally. And it would be good to fight alongside them one more time, if I'm being honest. Yeah, if you see Tonebass, tell him I've still got my cloak. He'll know what you mean. He'll know what you mean.
Am I allowed to use a persuasion roll to seduce him?
You can if you want.
Thanks.
You can see his wife just walking around the back with some baked bread, but sure.
It's not going to go too well. I'm at least going to get a kiss.
Okay. I roll a 4, so, you know, he's an open book. What'd you get?
13.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. It's not enough to, like, fully make him, like, adulterate against his wife, but you're, like, leaning in for a kiss, and he's like, oh, okay. And he leans in. You can get a bit red in the face, and you give him a peck on the cheek, and you kind of leave it lingering just a little bit longer than is polite. And he kind of pulls back. Well, okay. Well, great to see you, Freya. He looks back nervously, seeing if his wife noticed, but she's like,
I mean, I can roll a persuasion check for her too if you'd like.
Right.
But I don't think that would be appropriate.
He steps in and starts closing the door. He's like, yeah, thank you, Freya. Take care. Good luck. So you've now got another 1,500 gold to add to the 2,000 gold you've already got. So I don't know who's got that.
I mean, I've still got the bag, so I'm assuming me for a bit.
Oh yeah, because Aleph handed it to you, hoping to get free stuff from Al.
No, I didn't in the end, because you said it didn't matter. So I wouldn't know.
Oh, it was just because you said I haven't got any money. But anyway.
Well, yeah, but that doesn't mean that he can see through my bag. Well, at least I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Well,
you as a player know that he can.
Oh yeah.
Right. Sorry, Alith, what are you doing? So I don't want to skip you for a sec.
It's not really much I can do.
You cast some spells and the
Are you,
kids just
are
come
you
and
trying to
watch?
get Jimmy back?
Oh yeah, is thingy gone now?
Yeah. Old Owl's gone. Do you summon Owl again? Sorry, do you summon Jimmy again?
Yeah, I'll bring Jimmy back.
Okay.
I summon Owl.
Summon Owl.
Ah!
I'll come to me. And he appears. Hello. Yeah.
Why am I
After-
back?
After an hour of ritual, or however long it is, it takes a bit of a while to get him back. When he comes back, he's pissed. What the fuck was that? 1 minute I was flying in the air, next thing I'm back in the 9 hells. What did you do that for?
There was a powerful being supposedly. I don't know what he was doing, but something.
Can't have been. I would have felt it if someone had banished me. I mean, well, I suppose I've not really been banished before like that, but it wasn't very nice, and I'm not happy. Folds his wings. You don't pay any attention. He unfolds his wings. Fair enough. And he flies off. He doesn't give
Girl,
a shit.
Jimmy,
Yep.
come
Gaten.
back when you.
Gaten. Oh, jeez, you can start with him now. Gaten. Nathan comes out. He's stripped to his waist. He's got a little, pair of shorts on. And he's got this barrel chest with these beautifully defined abs. And his muscles in his arms are, sculpted. It's as if someone got some clay and just built the model of what a muscular man should look like. It kind of comes out, glistening sweat already. I've just been doing some push-ups, just getting myself ready.
Clearly just poured water on himself to make himself look good.
Yeah, he does look impressive. He looks impressive. It's got some muscle tone. You've definitely got that. Right, okay. There's no need to roll initiative. You're basically going to attack him at the same time. Do you let him strike first?
Yeah, I was kind of planning on letting him have the upper hand, but trying not to make it obvious that I was doing that.
Okay, are you going to strip down, or are you going to be sitting there in armor and?
I don't have any armor, so I'll don't know, match him, I guess.
Okay, you strip down 2 raw men in their prime, down into their shorts. Some of the women folk trying to climb up the walls and just... And also a couple of the male servants. Ooh. Oh! I rolled a 19 for my first attack. Okay. You let him have first punch and he comes up to you, he's like doing this, and then he goes, bop! And just smacks you in the face. It's a good hit for 5 concussive hits. So you take 5 damage. But that's concussive damage, that's not physical damage. So if you go to 0, you just go unconscious, basically. Right, your turn.
I'll strike.
You notice he's doing it in turns at the moment. You might want to suggest him to go into full-on combat where you actually roll initiative and do shit with each other. But at the moment, he's being quite civilized and doing it like a training session. Hence, I haven't asked you to roll initiative. So did you make attack? What'd you get?
Do you roll? Oh yeah, attack unarmed.
AC 21.
Oh, I mean that hits. Yes.
4 damage.
Okay, you crack him for 4 damage. Oh, not a bad hit. Chins it on the side. You see a little bit of blood trickling from his nose, but you haven't broken his nose or anything. Okay. Are you going into full combat, or are you just going to let him hit you again?
I'm leaving it up to him to choose that.
Okay. He thrusts out with his hand again, but this time you just knock his hand out of the way. You just bring it up, block it in from him. Oh, good block, very quick. I saw it coming. Okay, your turn.
AC 10.
That doesn't hit. He you do a little jab back at him, and he just weaves out of the way. Whoop whoop. Yep. He then goes back on you. Rolls an 18. That's AC 22.
Yep.
He smacks you back on the face again. For 3 damage. Your turn.
Sure.
You've barely got a scratch, by the way, at the moment. Whereas 4 hit points to him is quite a lot.
AC 11.
No, misses. He
Not
kinda-
rolling very well.
yeah,
but
you're like, oh, yeah. You're slowing down. You're slowing down. Have I got you? Have I got you? He goes to
I feel
go
like
punch.
it's Gaines like
Close.
fake fighting.
Yeah,
Well, that
AC,
was my plan anyway.
AC 21
That hits.
for 2 damage.
Sure.
You're taking 10 damage so far.
He
Basically,
has.
this time he doesn't get you in the face, but he gives you a punch in the stomach, like a low down punch.
I'll give like a little chuckle. Good shot. Good shot.
Thanks. Yeah, been practicing a lot. I'm ready. We're gonna take those orcs. We're gonna take those orcs, Gaten.
I'm going to try and swing back. Oh, strike. AC 22.
Yeah, you smack him again in the
Forward.
face. He's weaving, and you just wait for him. He's getting quite predictive. As he does, he drops his right arm, and you just do a little jab into his face again. Oh, God. Yep, pretty good. Pretty good. It's good to hit. You see the blood streaming down from both of his nostrils now. He's like wiping it away as he's got. Just get the blood out of the way. Yeah, it was a good hit. He goes back
Don't
on
like
you.
it.
Oh, he rolls a 2. He almost looks like he's starting to get angry. He does like a big roundhouse punch, and you just kind of step sideways without any effort whatsoever. It's a really clumsy punch.
Start to ease up and start deliberately missing for a couple of hits.
Okay. Oh yeah, I've still got you. I've still got you. He goes in for another hit. So you're not going to attack. You're just going to feint.
Yeah. Pretend like I'm attacking, but miss or go slow enough that he can easily block, unless he just doesn't pay any attention.
He goes for another hit, and he goes for a kidney punch straight round to the kidneys, and you just bat his arm out of the way. You realise you can't weave out of the way of that one, so you just basically bring your arm down, just do a little. It's going on for a bit. Assuming that you just do another feint, he goes to swing you again. He goes for another roundhouse, and this time he swings so badly he ends up staggering, losing balance, and he kind of staggers off to the side. Oh, I thought I had you then.
Almost.
You notice his form was okay, but he's starting to get sloppy really quickly. Are you going to make a proper attack on him?
No, I'm gonna go here. Try do this, and I'll try and get him to stand in a different stance that's a bit more aggressive.
Right.
And then
Okay.
swing from the hip, not from the shoulder, the hip.
Right. Okay. You step in.
Just
with the
imagining
legs.
Gaten holding him behind, showing him how to poise himself.
Yeah. All right. Jesus. It's like the
That's gonna
Mills
get a
and
few hours
Boone
over.
version. Mills and Boone D&D. And the masculine warrior stroked his hands down the other masculine warrior, touching his deltoids with delicate glee. I don't know what a deltoid is. But
Yeah,
it's-
I don't know why you would touch someone's deltoid.
What's a deltoid?
Your shoulder.
Oh, yeah, he's like...
No, that's your trapezius. That's your deltoid.
Oh, whatever. Ugh. He does another really sloppy punch, and you kind of just like back out of the way of it. This goes on for a little while. So basically, Gaten, he's no competition to you. His skills are okay. He had a couple of good hits in to start with, but you suspect that if you hit him one more time, he's going to get knocked down.
Yeah, this
so
was
you
more
just
for me to try and gauge how he was in combat and try and help him to learn.
okay, Paige. You go out on the field. It's a
Hello.
beautiful wheat field here. The golden shafts rising up towards the sun. Must be the first crop of the year. But you can see that there some further north crops are starting to wilt. It's just too cold for the crop. Too cold. And it's going to start killing this crop even more if that snow comes south. And if that happens too much, then you suspect they might start getting hungry if they can't produce enough yield. Anyway, you go out to where the grass is quite low. It's still green here, which is quite nice. A bit further away from... Must be on like a different layering of the crop. So this one's got a shorter, greener, younger shoots. And you open the box. And you look at the lion. And the lion looks back at you. And licks its lips.
Whoa! On that form, tiny. It's a mini lion. So cute.
It's super cute. It kind of
Oh my God! I'm gonna like try to put my hand by the box and then wait for him to climb, or her. I can't really see.
Okay. Yeah, the lion. It's got a big mane, but you don't know that means it's a male. But as it comes out,
Yeah.
it starts walking out. You start seeing quite a big tackle just swinging under its legs. Well, tiny little pin dot tackle. But relative to the rest of the lion, he's got some good tackle there. So are you going to
is
fiddle
too
with his
cute.
tackle? Look at the little testicles.
No, not the tackle. I was just
Oh, right.
patting his head.
It was just
Sorry,
like I was saying about his tackle, and you were like,
I've moved on from his little.
"Oh,
weenie.
sorry." I've obviously been too used to doing stuff with Charlotte, who seems to be trying to come
I'm
on
just
with
having
everybody at
Yeah,
the Argyle.
like good. It's a male, female, whatever. It is cute.
Yeah, it is. It kind of does like a little, and its mane is just beautiful. It's like a sunflower with a
Oh my
feline
God.
face. It's really cute.
I'm gonna basically sit down.
He starts
On the
licking your
grass.
finger.
Yeah, sit down on the grass, and I'm gonna like gently put it on the grass while I tap it, and it's my little pet now. Yay!
Yeah.
Mini lion.
As soon as you put the line on the ground, it expands. And then suddenly it's about 5 foot tall up to its shoulder height and looks around.
Oh yeah.
Then it looks at you and
Amazing.
it nuzzles up to your
Paige
face.
able to control it?
I'm gonna
Yes.
go give it like a hug through the mane like this, like squeeze it.
Oh,
Paige has now got a permanent mount.
it basically
Fluffy.
it lets you nuzzle into it. Your face just disappears into this wall of hair.
Oh my
And
God.
it even smells
Bliss.
just like a fresh breeze as it tickles your face. And you come in. As you do it, it nuzzles you. You're not sure whether this is the natural temperament of what a lion would be or like in real life, but it seems very friendly. And you can
Love
hear it kind
It's
of
my
like
lion now.
purring.
I'm gonna call it Ginger Frost.
Ginger
GF to be
Frost.
short.
Ginger
Yes.
Frost.
Yes. I've got a lion.
You see its paws are massive. Each paw is bigger than your foot. And it's just like
Love it.
when the pads are on the ground, it kind of expands out.
Tell me more.
How are we meant to put it back into its tiny size?
I'll figure it out. You're not here. I've got a lion.
You start patting your hand around. You notice that after you get past the mane, it's got very short hair, like very
Nice.
thin, sort of, but it's smooth. When you put your hand down it, it just
Oh my
glides
God.
down the smooth finish of this lion, and it's
Oh
got
my
like it's got like a thin-skinned tail, but then it ends in like a fluffy bit of like mini mane that's like on its
I'm gonna
head.
kind of do this basically from the mane, right? Mane is here. I'm like putting my face and literally just
Oh yeah, you do. It's kind of like you hear this like
rub my face through it. Love it.
Gary using his beard to good effect.
It's good. It's good.
Yeah, you do.
And then I'm gonna go in front of him, and then I'm gonna we're gonna be great buddies.
He
Ginger
licks-
Frost.
He licks your face, Paige. Doesn't say anything.
I've
Can't
got.
speak.
By the way, one sec. I've got animal handling, which is
Which-
good.
Which you could use, but this lion already obeys you.
Obeys me. Gotcha. And I remember something else that I had.
You notice when you
Gosh.
put your ear against its body, it makes this kind of like
Ah,
purring, and it just vibrates against the flesh onto your cheek, and you're like,
Ah, go on, Ginger F. Okay.
Ginger Frost. for the
Yeah, man. Absolutely. Yes, I'm just gonna play around with him,
Okay.
and you can move on to another player. I'm gonna enjoy this moment.
Okay. Yeah. Are you gonna try and ride him?
Oh, cutscene. We'll see in the next scene
Okay.
if I'm gonna try or not.
You see this halfling on a lion just like bounding across the fields of wheat.
Basically, next time the camera gets on me, let's see what happens. I don't
Okay,
know.
right.
We'll see.
Gayton, you guys have worked up a sweat, but he can't penetrate your defense. You've pretended to feint some jabs, but he's looking pretty worn out, and the sweat's dripping from him. You're feeling still pretty fine. You're barely warmed up. He's dripping with sweat. He's got that kind of weight trainer sweat where they have loads of protein in them, and they just sweat like crazy. But yeah, he doesn't seem to be very good with cardio. He's like, oh, and you're like, you know, you need to in a battle, you need to be able to have stamina. You need to work on your cardio, otherwise you'll basically he looks like if he got into a fight, he'd be pretty good for a couple of rounds, and then he would start to get a little bit fatigued. Because
pace yourself. You have to pace yourself.
Right. Okay. So, what do you recommend?
Slower and accurate, rather than quick and unplanned attacks.
Okay.
Take your time.
Okay. You quite quickly move from being sparring partners to you basically doing a bit of training with him, and he really appreciates it. You notice that he's actually quite friendly, and when he's not trying to be arrogant in front of a big crowd, he's actually quite humble when it's just two of you, and you start to get to see what Wendell was talking about in terms of his personality. You know, he's obviously struggling to basically fit the shoes of his dad, and you can sense it when he's fighting. He's got the capacity to fight. He's got that warrior instinct, but he's just not been training in the right way, and he's never really had need to use it. But he needs to step up his training if he's going to get involved in the battle. Otherwise, he's just going to get slaughtered. He's just going to be a very big, strong target that an axe is going to cleave through very quickly. So you spend a little bit of time, maybe a couple of hours with him training. After about 30 minutes, Wendell comes in. He's still a bit flush-faced after his little moment with Freya, but he's trying to move on from that. And he watches you train for a while, nodding, and he thanks you at the end of it. That's fantastic. It's good to get him do some training. I agree. He needs to work on his cardio, so it's something we're going to focus on. We're going to start doing some running exercises and we're going to put a troop together. We're going to split the men into two and women, and we're going to choose a defensive force and an attacking force. And the defensive force are going to basically work to defend Yargile. And you notice that some of the men have already started to bring together woods, and there's some woodsmen going out. We're going to basically put a defensive wall around the town. You know, the women and children are not going to leave. We've already been talking about it, but we are going to defend the town. But we're going to send our greatest warriors, led by me and Nathan, to the north and start preparing. And we've got some ground workers who've got fantastic upper strength who are going to help start digging the ditches, the trenches. We'll make this work. Freya, you've basically collected together some things ready to go, and after a couple of hours, you guys meet back up again. The camera panning briefly to Paige, who's just finishing up with your lion. You work out.
No. I'm on the lion, and I'm going. Wee!
All right. Okay. Yeah. You wonder where Paige is, and then suddenly this huge lion comes bounding, pony-sized lion. This thing is but much broader, and with teeth that look terrifying. Basically, rides in on this lion. It looks magnificent, and she's just holding on to some of the mane, and she's got the biggest grin on her face.
I'm gonna jump down the lion, and I'm gonna give it a big hug in front of these guys as well, and then I'm gonna put it back in its box.
Okay. As soon as you open the box and put the box on the ground, the lion walks towards it, and as he does, he shrinks down, shrink, and goes in the box, and you close the lid.
All right. Did it come with like dietary requirements and
No, it doesn't need
portion food? Just checking.
It's not a
Is
real
there like
lion.
a little, is there like a big little prescription within the box that expands as well?
No.
Like how to take? Do I know how to take care of a lion?
No.
These are important questions, Gary.
I mean, you were with this lion for 2 hours,
wanna
and
kill
not
the
once,
lion.
and not once did he ever look like he needed to drink or eat.
Holy shit. All right, amazing. So proudly, I put it in my bra, probably like the safest place that I can think of. And then I'm just gonna look.
Us women have got a lot of things in the bra. I never thought a
The bra's
lion
just
though.
bristling with daggers, healing potions. Anyway, Aleth, is there anything else you did in the time, or are you just preparing to leave? Because you need to leave.
Rolled a dice.
Oh, you rolled it again this morning?
I guess so.
You don't have to.
Hmm.
Oh, I mean, I want to see what happens.
Uh-oh.
Okay, do it.
Nice.
Oh dear.
Okay.
Tell me it's a natural one. Is it a
No,
natural
It's a
one?
10.
No,
It's a
it's a
10.
10.
Okay.
Oh, that's...
You're disadvantaged for the rest of the day. Basically, as soon as you roll the dice, you start having visions yelling at you about, and in those visions, you're doing really horrible things, and it's making you feel sick. You try to ignore them
Why would
because
I feel sick at doing horrible things?
you don't know. You don't know, but that's how you feel. You see yourself killing innocent villagers, and then it makes you feel ill. You see yourself sacrificing a woman, and then it makes you feel ill. And these visions just haunt you through the day. Not enough that you're incapacitated, but basically you're now disadvantaged the whole day because you're basically distracted.
Great.
So
Can
you're gonna do
anyone
that,
else roll this dice?
glad eyes thing, and I'm just gonna have to slap it out like, get back.
What was that, Gaten? I completely missed it. Sorry.
Saying, is he going to do that glared over eyes thing because he's distracted all the time, and I'm just going to have to keep on slapping him like, head in the game, come on.
No, basically he looks normal, but every once in a while he just kind of stares away and then starts. And he's back in the room. Then he's like, yeah.
Like a glitch.
We would probably assume that as normal. That he told us that he does this thing where he looks through.
It doesn't quite. His eyes aren't misting over, and you see his hand like twitching to his dagger occasionally, involuntary. He doesn't know he's doing it. He's completely oblivious. A couple of times during the day, you find you got like a dagger in your hand and you're shaking, and then you put it back. You're not sure if you like this dice or not.
Great.
But I mean, a 10 was the mildest of the bads. It gets worse.
Disadvantage all day is the mild or bad.
Yeah.
And a 19 was only a crit on 19 or 20.
Wait until you find out what a 20 gets you. Or will you?
You get an extra dice.
I don't even think that's worth rolling then. If the bads are so drastically worse than the goods,
Possibly. Who knows? You don't know.
I roll it. Seems like a better idea.
I mean, obviously, you can only roll it once a day. Basically, its power only works once a day.
I'm just glad that Freya didn't get too drunk that she summoned a dragon.
Oh God! Oh, what's this crystal thing? You have me for a day.
Wouldn't
Because
it
it was
be
in the
like-
evening, so it was till sunset.
Yeah,
So I
I mean,
just had for like an hour.
Yeah, you get the dragon to fly you down to Yornheim because you can't be asked to walk. Cheers, dragon. Probably not the best use of you, but it was great. Cheers. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
But I did. At that point, I would have just left everyone else behind. So it would just mean me and Jornheim.
I'm the Dragon Queen with a flagon of ale in her hand as she flies up, way, and then falls off the dragon halfway up in the air. Anyway, you travel the first day. Nothing assails you. It's farmers' fields as far as you can see. At the end of the day, you notice that some of the fields look less well tended, and you even see some parts where there's no wildlife at all. Some of the ground here is a little bit boggy, where they're quite drenched in water. There's obviously the water table is quite high here, and you can see slowly growing in the distance by the end of the first day, in the far distance, this range of hills that sort of pierces the flat landscape with these mounds far in front of you. and you camp out for the night. Have any of you tried your candles yet?
In the darkest hour, my friend.
In the darkest hour.
I was just told to do it at night.
Yeah.
That was all I was
I
told.
don't have a candle.
The oil thing that Gaeton's got, and the stone.
The oil and the whetstone. Yep.
How much oil does it look like is in this thing?
20 uses.
Okay.
And what it does is it gives you a magical +1 for the day.
Okay.
How long does it? Can I put my candle out and relight it again another time, or is it a one-use candle?
No. It's got plenty of uses.
As a mechanical question, the +1 from this thing doesn't stack with an already +1 weapon, does it?
Yeah, no, it will do. Give you another +1.
Okay.
Basically, they're different magical powers on the weapons. But your this oil and whetstone will apply to any weapon. So
Awesome.
could be anything you've got. By the way, when you light that candle, a couple of things happen, Freya. If you do light it in the evening when you're going to sleep, as soon as you light it, basically, anyone that was planning on going to sleep just falls into a massive deep sleep. And while it's lit, you basically can get a full rest in only 4 hours.
Don't know.
So a bit like the... Wait, was that in this campaign or the other one where you had that short rest that you can do in 10 minutes?
So it's just basically making us all elves.
Other campaign, okay. Yeah, so basically it gives you a long
we can
rest.
heal in 10 minutes, but not rest.
So it was this campaign?
No,
Yeah.
the other one you have the potions of the short rest.
Yes, okay.
No, yeah. This one was when he drew the pictures on the floor, and then we could heal up in 10 minutes.
Oh yeah, it was a ritual spell.
Oh, the cleric cast.
No,
Well,
the
the
Alice
Alice.
does something that does it once per day, I think it is, or
Yeah.
Right, okay. I knew there was something. Yeah, basically you can have a short rest. And also when you're when you wake up, you're all blessed.
What does bless do?
I have to look it up.
It adds
You get
one
an
d
additional D4.
One d
D4 on attack rolls and saving throws, I believe.
Attack and saving throws. Nice.
I think it lasts for 8 hours as well. Or is it 1 hour?
Forever.
I'm assuming if I light the candle, that everyone will
Yeah,
get.
everyone that's basically can smell it and see it. Bless. One action. Well, it's you have to rest with this lit. So basically, it only works if you spend the time. Whether that's you meditating, it doesn't speed up meditating. If you meditate, it only speeds up speeding, but it does still give you the bless if you meditate. Bless is up to 3 creatures. We'll forget about that. It's everyone within the candle. Whenever a target makes an attack roll or a saving throw before the spell ends, the target can roll a d4 and add the rolling number to attack roll. So basically, it's only going to work once because the candle's lit and then you've got it for the day. So through that day, you've got a d4 you can use at any point.
Nice.
And then once you've used it, it's gone. But then on the next... and Freya, just so you know, it had 20 burns. So you can use this candle 20 times and you've got 19 left now. So on the
Well, I haven't
second
lit
day...
it yet.
You did
Okay.
light it. You said you lit it.
Yeah.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've just used one of the charges.
I don't
Well,
remember.
Well, you wanted to
lighting
find
it.
out what it did, didn't you?
We've lit it at the night time, which is when to use it. So tomorrow
Okay.
we will have the bless effect on all of us.
Yes.
Okay.
So tomorrow on your journey, you will be blessed for the whole day.
Is it just
Love
a
it.
one
Just
off
one D4.
roll of D4?
Yeah,
Okay.
just a little D4.
I'm
Keep
gonna
it in your
make-
back pocket.
But
And then
the big question is, what can you add this d4 to your natural one?
What do you mean?
No, natural one's a natural one.
If I roll exactly, if does it turn a natural one?
No, well, a one. I mean, if you roll a 1, adding 4 to it is still going to fail, isn't it?
Yeah, but natural one is like a critical miss, isn't it? So weird shit might happen on a natural one.
Well, for you, natural 1, you get to re-roll it because you're half.
I know. I'm just in general. I'm just kind
All
of.
right. Okay.
Can Aleph add it to his new dice?
What do you mean?
Night
Can
Owl.
he roll his little D20 thing that he's
No.
got?
Ah.
No.
That's
not.
a very
That's
good
not an
question.
attack roll or a saving throw.
Well,
True.
It's attacking him with
That's-
disadvantage.
The D20 is literally Aleth rolling a D20. You can't make it add any more, take any more away, and it's too powerful an artifact for a little blessed candle to do that. But that's what that does anyway. You have 19 left, and you're blessed for the whole next day. The next day. Oh, sorry. The next day.
I said nice. Sorry.
All right, you travel through the day. You want to make up good time by later in the day, say about 5 o'clock in the
I
evening.
want to roll the dice again.
You're going to roll the dice again one more time today.
Days are flying by.
Okay.
Well, it's a new-
Basically,
it's a new day now.
you've noticed the effects so far only last for that day. So the critical only lasted for the yesterday. 2.
oh dear.
Oh
Okay.
no!
Oh dear.
You fall into a coma.
Nice.
He basically rolls a dice, and then as he does, and it lands on the 2, he slumps unconscious. Barely any life signs. You have to basically just pick him up.
Gaten.
You can't even magically heal him either.
I was going to say.
One
back
just
your
dropped.
wounds.
I'll pick him up and just slump him over, just assuming he's doing some sorcerer thing.
I'll ride the horse. Don't worry. You can just throw him on the horse because we're riding the same horse, aren't we?
Oh, we,
I
yeah.
put the dice back in his pocket though, so that he doesn't lose it.
Right, okay. Do you roll the dice?
Ho ho!
Are we allowed to?
You don't know.
If I see the dice when I've picked him up, I'll go like, this can't be the, and I'll just chuck it on the floor. So it will roll, but I haven't intentionally rolled it.
You roll
Roll
the
it.
dice. Nothing
You
happens.
roll a 20 now. I'm not going to be happy.
Nothing happened.
Nothing happens. It's aligned only to Aleph.
We put it in his back pocket.
Gosh,
I'm gonna roll
fingerprint these days.
just to see what I get, even though it's irrelevant.
He rolls a 20. The
A
14. Something
So-
marvelous would have happened, but it doesn't.
Alright, guys. I'll be
we
back.
all, oh,
Ooh.
Okay. So basically, the entire day that you're blessed, Aleph is unconscious. You
nice try, Paige.
you reach by about 5-6 o'clock in the evening. In fact, a bit later now because he's gone unconscious, so it takes you a little while to get him up, and it slows you down. So actually, it's more like the evening time by the time you get to the Iron Hills, because some unconscious fucker slows you down all day on his horse, and you get there by evening, and the sun's just about to set, and you can see the Iron Hills are risen in front of you. There's no big cliffs like it's a mountain, but the ground rises up, and you can see multiple mounds all rising. Everyone make a
I mean-
perception
Cool.
roll.
I mean, out of character, the only person that was told about the Iron Hills warning-wise was Paige, so I'm assuming none of us know.
It would be funny if it was only me that was warned about it.
Yeah, we're not going to Iron Hills. Don't worry. I'll tell you when you need to know.
Make a roll. Everyone make perception rolls. Apart from Alice.
I've rolled terribly on everything.
Okay. Paige. It's only a glimpse, but deep in the Iron Hills, you see a white dove flying towards
What?
something.
Great, we're not going in there. Thank you very much.
Okay. You
I'll keep that to myself.
all right.
Freya
You-
would 100% want to follow the dove if she saw it.
I know. I'm glad you didn't.
The glamping tent rises up little flag appears in the top, and you all settle in for the evening, and you start resting down for the night. Are you lighting the candle or are you not?
No.
No, right, okay. You have a good night's sleep. You all have really strange dreams. Alith, your coma just turns into a deep sleep, and you start having dreams that you're buried in a tomb, and you can't breathe. And you put your hands on this tomb, but you can't get out. And you all have the same dream.
Oh.
And the next day, you wake up, and the morning sun rises in the east and puts a beautiful shimmering light on the slopes of the hills of Iron Hill.
I don't know.
And then that's it. We're going to leave it there because it's now 20 to midnight, and I'm going to have to stop the roleplay. But yes, so you find yourself now at the foot of the Iron Hills.
Ready to go through.
Yes, and there's a big
Go
path that
around.
goes. So basically, the hills do this, and your current trajectory would have you going right down through the middle of the Iron Hills. But you can see there's also another path that's been kind of trodden into the ground that goes round to the left.
Yeah, so we're going around it, guys. I know these areas.
Why?
Trust me.
Well, my father always said never walk into an ambush.
Exactly.
that was a
so
rose
let's go
bush.
around, Iron.
Never walk into a rose bush, is what he said.
Wow,
I'm
she misremembered.
Okay, I'm going to stop it there because it's 20 to midnight, and whatever you do next is going to kick something off. So,
Nice.
you're at the foot of the Iron Hills. I thought you were actually going to get to the Iron Hills today, but anyway.
Look, I've got a lion.
You got
so
a lion, motherfucker. What else do you need?
Life's good. I'm gonna sleep well tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck you with your raven. I got a lion.
Yeah.
I got a lion,
Raven,
Jimmy.
a one-use dragon, and now we've got a multiple-use lion.
Yeah, Gaten's like, wait, Freya's got a dragon. He's got a demon. You've got a lion.
Nice oil.
I have a rock.
You got a
And a
pen. You got an apple. Apple pen. Sorry. Sorry. Gaten,
It's time, obviously, Gary.
you got an axe. You got an axe, Gaten. It's a really cool axe.
I don't-
There we go. Right. We'll call it there. Everybody gets 700 experience points for the session.
We got more. I got more experience points for getting drunk than I did for putting out a fire.
Yeah, you met Al. You see, meeting Al is an interesting experience. Every
How many
campaign
did you
I
say?
Sorry?
700.
700.
I will
700.
explain to them the whole story with Albert Doran.
You were, yeah. I think you were hoping for more, but he doesn't parlay with evil characters.
Oh
so
no,
much.
I gathered I was going to have some sort of prohibition, like be limited by the fact that I'm evil. Seeing as he's like, good and all that boring stuff.
So basically, Al, by the way, is a meta character that's in every campaign, and yeah, Harry knows what he is.
Cool.
But he appears.
I love Al.
everywhere.
He's my new best friend. So he
He's,
gave me ginger frost.
He's
Well,
lovely.
don't trust him. When you're rich, you'll take it all.
That's
he
all right.
does. He does.
I'm not into material goods. Don't worry.
He's the Robin Hood of minor deities.
Hmm.
Takes from the rich and gives to the poor.
Well,
Yeah.
I've got one character that's friends with him, so maybe I can make one that's an enemy of him.
I mean, it's not the worst thing to come across him, considering that we're all from the north and make our lives by trading everything. We don't own much.
You're very
I mean, we have
unassuming.
thousands of gold with us.
Yeah, but he was never going to ask for that because he knows what you need it for.
Good.
You'll
Good
meet him
guy.
again. He's all over the place. Right, okay. It's getting late. I'm sorry we didn't get very far tonight, but
No,
It's a great game.
Oh,
Lots of
okay.
roleplay.
I enjoyed it. Yes.
Yeah.
got to have a punch up with the leader of another village.
Well, at least I got to have my fun before we have to be serious again.
Yes. Yeah, try and remember the story though, because there is something cool you could do if you decided to do whatever you want to do.
All I need to do is run away and marry a farmer. Which, if I'm marrying a farmer, it's going to be Gayton, and that's just not the path I saw myself going.
Yeah, well, you know.